I'm tired, I'm lost, I'm lonely and counting the cost. A shooting star, fall down and take me. I've betrayed myself long enough. I can't give up, just breathe in. I know the change has to come from within. I can't see now. Release everything that's holding you down. I'm lost in a world I don't know. I'm tired, I'm lost, I'm lonely and
What's up, everybody? I'm Drop Ninja. Hope you are well. So, I'm going to do my best. Promised myself I would stay calm through this. So, that's the goal. Right? That's the goal. I have... Well, actually, hold on. For one, it's been a long time since I actually have streamed and actually just sat down and hung out for a little bit. And because the last couple of my streams have all just been me mixing. And because of that, I can't... all my fucking shit is... Oh my god. This is stupid. There we go. Over there. There we go. Jesus. If anybody can let me know that audio is okay, it's how it looks like it is. Yeah. Obviously, from the title, talking about all the recent stuff going on with Joe Rogan and everything else. We're going to dive into that in a second. First thing I want to say is I've been streaming for, I don't know, almost 2 years. Well, yeah, we're coming up on like 20 months or something like that. I don't fucking know. I've been streaming for a long time. I've done gaming, I've done mixing, I've had Discord chat, talked about topics before. I've talked about politics and like what my beliefs are before, I guess, on stream, but it was more of it would just be something random. Like we would just start talking about it. It was nothing planned, so on and so forth. Because I've tried to keep that separate. Because I didn't want my stream to be about that. But I can't help it with this topic. So I thank you, Turner. I appreciate it. With this topic, though, what I'm going to be talking about tonight, probably for like the next hour. This is going to be new for me, but I just can't help it. I have to talk about this because it's been bothering me for the last couple of weeks. A lot of things have been bothering me, and I have to make this video, I guess, selfishly for myself, because it would not be true to myself if I didn't. So cheers to that. I promised myself I would stay calm, so I'm going to try to remain disciplined through this and not get emotionally, but at least just speak my mind and my opinion about the whole situation. So real quick, I am a huge fan of Joe Rogan. Him as a person, but I also love the Joe Rogan experience. I love him for what he does for the UFC. I also like his stand-up. I wouldn't put him in my like top 5 stand-up comedians, honestly. There's much better, like Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, list goes on and on. But I think he's great as a stand-up comic. But I really love his podcast, Joe Rogan Experience. I've been listening to it since, 2016, late 2015, beginning of 2016. And I've pretty much listened to every single podcast, basically. Maybe not all the way through because they are long. They are like 2 to 3 hours long on average. But I have listened to the majority of them. So I've been a huge fan of him. And I'm not, what I'm about to do, it's in the defense of Joe Rogan, but it's honestly more in defense of how crazy it is. Everything that I'm reading, everything that I'm seeing, it's pure insanity what is happening right now. Because once again, I did not think this out. This is me going off the cuff here. So if I start dribbling on, I apologize. I promise you, I'm recording this, so I'll edit it down later and put up the edited version on YouTube. I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional, so that's what I'm focusing on. The reason I'm speaking about this is because, yes, it's in defense of Joe Rogan, but it's more in defense of it is really bothering me how bad shit is getting. With the canceling, the silencing, just the way things are online, the way people are able to say things or distort something or manipulate something or like the propaganda, just everything. It just seems so crazy to me now at this point that it's so out of control, especially with Joe Rogan, that it scares the shit out of me that we live in a country where this is allowed and that this is happening, and at least, I would say at least half of the country would say that this is okay, which is not. And real quick, let me found where I'm coming from, because I don't think I've actually ever said it on stream or said it on any of the things that I do online. Okay, I am not Republican, I am not Democrat, I am not a liberal, I'm not any of these things. I am a human who loves people, who loves life, and I just want the best for everyone, and that's the fucking truth. It's that simple when it comes to me. I'm a loving person. I high energy. I'm a little bit crazy. You know, I love music. I love my friends. I love my family. I love all of these things, and that's just who I am. Am I political? No, not really. I just want everybody as a whole, no matter who they are, to do better. I want the world to be better. I want a brighter future. If maybe one day I have kids, but I want that for everybody else's kids. Like, I'm just a person that wants great things for everyone. That's who I am. So I don't have any actual leaning on something politically. So don't put a title on me, because there is none. So that's where I stand, okay? I served in the military, served overseas, all that good stuff. I have been around the world. I've done a lot of things. I've been able to experience a bunch of different cultures, a bunch of different religions, a bunch of different people. My friends range from anything from all the way over here to all the way over there. I'm very diverse in my experiences in life and my relationships that I hold in the past, in the present, and will in the future. It's always been diverse, and it'll always be that way. And that's how everyone should be, in my personal opinion. But thank you. Hey, Monkey Shine. So, majority of you know who I am. I am extremely bothered and upset at what is going on in the last couple of weeks with Joe Rogan. And I'm going to play a couple of videos. I'm going to show a couple of things and give my opinion on it. I have been offline the last couple of nights upset about this, and have talked to some of my closest friends that nobody really listens to Joe Rogan in my friend group, really, except for me. So, you know, it's basically just me venting, right? So if you don't listen to Joe Rogan and everything else, if you don't even like Joe Rogan, that's fine. That's okay. What I'm upset about is not because of what's happening to Joe Rogan, it's what it actually, the principle and the actual meaning of what is happening to him. And that if this really goes through, that scares the ever-living shit out of me. Because this is just getting bananas at this point. Okay. I gotta calm down. I have too much I want to say. I just need to calm down. Yes, this is in defense of Joe Rogan, but it's also in defense of freedom of speech. It's defense of our culture. It's defense of us as a people. It's a defense of what the actual fuck is going on right now in our country. Okay? Let's do this. Let me see how I'm going to start this. By the way, Monkey Shine, how are you? Okay, so you, Monkey Shine, so Nico listens to him too? I didn't know that. Okay. So real quick, I guess I'll run down what's going on with Joe Rogan right now. So Joe Rogan hosted Joe Rogan Experience. It started off about a week ago. I'm gonna keep this light because most people know what's going on. Joe Rogan had several people on in the last couple of weeks that speak out or speak differently than what is said about, like, with COVID, the vaccines, all that kind of stuff. He had them on, which started all of this. And then Neil Young and some other artists on Spotify, where Joe Rogan Experience is actually hosted on now, said they're going to pull their music, and that all the misinformation Joe Rogan is spreading is harmful and deadly to everyone. And that started like a snowball effect, and it just kept going and going. The latest thing that just happened 2 days ago is a video, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, of Joe Rogan saying the N-word several different times. It's just a compilation and quick cuts of him saying that over the 12 years that he's been doing his podcast, all right? Which, you know, blew this up into a thing even more. And now Spotify deleted 113 episodes of the Joe Rogan podcast off of Spotify. And well, actually, we'll start with this here. So actually, just about an hour ago, Spotify CEO doubles down on keeping. So this is on Twitter. Spotify CEO doubles down on keeping Joe Rogan on platform. I do not believe in silencing Joe is the answer. We should have clear lines. Blah blah blah. So this is an hour ago. So he's going to keep Joe Rogan on Spotify, but they deleted a bunch of episodes. So, I mean, honestly, this in by itself is contradictory, but that's fine. He condemns Joe Rogan's repeated use of the N-word. The company has no plan to remove him from the platform. Okay. Luke, Joe Rogan can... I'm sorry, guys. I meant to put this up on the... There you go. Sorry. Look, Joe Rogan exercised his right of free speech. Spotify can't air his stuff, and we can boycott the hell out of Spotify. I am so special with private and Dan, I'm concerned about the First Amendment, aren't you? One thing, I hate Twitter. I really do. This is probably half the reason why I'm so upset is when you just go down the Twitter fucking rabbit hole, man, it really makes you lose faith that anything is going to work out or be addressed or fixed. Some could mean he hasn't spoken to him about the N-word. There should be no ambiguity on this, but the CEO is purposely ambiguous. Then it's clear that he is too racist and supports racism via passivity. More artists should leave his platform. So now the CEO is racist. Everybody's racist. Okay. All right. So going off of this, you know, maybe we can put that to bed that Joe Rogan isn't going to be taken off of Spotify. And honestly, I really don't give a shit if he is or is not. Hey, Goofy. Yes, Turner, mainstream media has had so much influence and power, they have been looking for a way to cancel him. And I'm going to get on that here in a second, Turner. I got you. Monkey Shine. I think it's simple. Talking is better than not talking. The thing is, keep talking, don't stop. I don't think that Joe should be any one voice of reason, but I don't think he's a bad dude. What is going on here? Goofy, I'm upset about all the Joe Rogan controversy. That's what's going on here. So, case in point to what you just said, Monkey Shine. If we're really trying to destroy Joe Rogan, and this is what upsets me so much, and yes, this is coming from a biased opinion. I have watched Joe Rogan for years, okay? For years. This dude is one of the greatest dudes that I ever listened to. I mean, that's half the reason why we listen to him. It's because he sits down with so many different people from so many different backgrounds and topics and culturally relevant issues that it's amazing, and he just talks to them. He doesn't, it's nice. It's nice to actually listen to a conversation about stuff that I don't know, or maybe it's about a point of view that I don't agree with, but I can actually listen to and learn something. I've never once listened to Joe Rogan and had thought that he is racist, bigoted, sitting on a certain side of the aisle. I've never thought about that once while listening to him. And I believe that I'm a pretty good judge of character. And so that's what makes this even crazy. I mean, this dude has had Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? All the way from Dave Chappelle, Christopher Mellon. He had one of the first defectors from North Korea. I forget her name. It's a woman. Had her on. Mainstream media would not put her on any of the networks. This was during the Trump era, right? So Joe Rogan brings her on, and I cried like twice watching that interview with her because it was just crazy to actually hear what's actually going on in that country. There are so many different people that Colin Noor, Jack Carr, Tom Segura, one of his comedian friends. He also does the MMA stuff. Eric Weinstein. He had CNN, Sanjay Gupta, Marcus Luttrell, Jim Bauer, Mike Baker. I mean, Matt Taibbi, he's also had on. I'm trying to just think. Elon Musk, Michael Malice, Brandon Schaub, of course, Lex Friedman, who is amazing as well. I can't remember his name, and I'm kind of ashamed that I can't remember his name. But he's had one of the representatives from the Black Caucus that is up in the northeastern region, which is like one of the most powerful people in the black community. He has had. Let me think. Gad Sad, who I like, Ren Greenwald. So he's also had people on like Alex Jones. Okay, so Kanye West, Matthew McConaughey. I mean, when you read these names, like it's so many different topics, it's so many different backgrounds, it's so many, like, all right, Brian Murleska and Graham Hancock, who, if you're a history buff, I mean, every podcast that they've ever had, I have learned so many things, and it's so beneficial and so amazing, and I fucking love listening to it. He's had Edward Snowden on. He has had Tim Kennedy, who stole my last name, and I'm still kind of pissed at him about it. I'm kidding. Literally, we have Miley Cyrus and then Mike Tyson. Okay? He has had Bill Maher on the show, who's a liberal. By the way, also Joe Rogan is actually technically a liberal. Newsflash. I'm so done with people saying that he's alt-right. I'm so done with that shit. If you have not, Dr. Deborah So, I love her, by the way. I do. I'm kind of attracted to her, but I love her. Once again, and he's had Ben Shapiro, Oliver Stone, George Knapp, and Jeremy Corbell, Peter Schiff, Bob Saget. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. God damn it, I forgot about that. That's sad. Anyways, I mean, this just goes on and on. He's had people from every background. Hey, Current Chaos. How are you, sir? How are you? I'm sorry, I keep hitting the table, and that's why it's making the camera drop down. So case in point, he has had people from every background and culture and everything else for forever, right? So on the video that was released about Joe Rogan just a day ago about him, there was a compilation of him saying the N-word. I'm not going to play it but it is on YouTube. It'll take you 2 seconds to find it. Here's the two things I'm gonna say about that. Number one, I will never say that word, and I don't think that anybody should use that word. So I do disagree with when Joe Rogan has used it sometimes. But here's the other side to that coin. Half of the clips in those videos of him saying that word, he was actually talking about a topic where they were talking about that word and the use of it in certain things. And the majority of those interviews, which I love how they don't show the guests that he's talking to, was actually like black activists or people in that community standing up for them. So that right there just pissed me off because it's so distasteful and so wrong to do that. And here's the other part. The video that's spreading around online, that video was made 5 years ago. This is not new information about this. That's the other thing that pisses me off. It's like everybody's like trying to pivot and make it sound like this, like he's some racist asshole and everything else. Everybody has known this for years. Here's the other thing that upsets me about it. If you watch the Young Turks, there are so many shows on YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere else where they openly, white people, the Young Turks included, if you don't believe me, also Google it. They have used this, they have done the same thing using that word over and over and over again. Yet these are the people that are criticizing Joe Rogan for doing that when they do the same goddamn thing. It's so hypocritical and so two-faced, it's unbelievable. And that's what scares the shit out of me, is we're now living in a country where we can just, if we don't agree with someone's message, or if someone's becoming too powerful, or if it goes against the overall agenda or the message that the government or tech or whoever the fuck is doing this, if it goes against them, they can just destroy you and it doesn't matter. That's what's happening right now. That is what's happening. Make no doubt about it. Do not think that that's not what's happening. I just never thought that they would do this to someone like Joe Rogan. This is why I'm so upset about it, is if you don't know who Joe Rogan is and you don't listen to him, but you hate him, just please, for me, as a favor to me, just like listen to him for like 3 hours. Choose any podcast, any episode, I don't care. Just listen to him for a little bit and you'll see why his show and his podcast is so huge. Why he has so many followers, why he has 11 million hits on every episode. It's because it's refreshing to listen to something that, you know, isn't biased, isn't, scripted, that isn't controlled. It's just two people sitting in a room and talking about whatever it is, the topic that they're talking about. It's so refreshing and it's so nice. Chaos, I love you. Thank you. Bob Lazar, yes. Turner, great call out. Yeah, by the way, if you're listening to this, please shout out your favorite Joe Rogan episode, please. Bob Lazar was an awesome episode. I've actually watched it like 3 times. I love that episode. So, I'm not breathing. I promised myself I'd stay calm, and which I am. So, that's why I'm so upset about it. It bothers me because I love my country. I love, I really do. I love our country. I love our world. I want everything to be amazing in the future. That's what I really want. And Joe Rogan has been an influence to me to carry that persona, that mindset, to be a good person, to be open, to listen to everybody. I can tell, if you disagree with me, please, I would love for you to, anybody that disagrees with me or a different point of view, I want to have that conversation. I'm very open to that. I have friends that I completely disagree with, but we're friends and we go out and we have fun and we have a blast because it's about more than that. I have people in my family that do not agree with half of the things that I do. I don't agree with half the things they do or believe in either, but we still love each other. And we're losing that in this country. It is now becoming so unbelievably, it just seems like everything is targeted. There's a point to it, and it's sickening to me. It really is. And yeah. All right, so the other thing that everybody who's been pissed off about Joe Rogan is misinformation, right? Okay. All right, here we go. We want to talk about misinformation. Shut up. I can't even... we want to talk about misinformation. Okay. We can do that. That's fine. That's fine. Let me fix my audio. So there's so many things that they've been talking about. One of them is the ivermectin thing, so on and so forth. I'm going to play this real quick because this is the media mocking Joe Rogan and lying about ivermectin for straight 2 minutes. And then we're going to watch Bill Maher, Bill Maher is a liberal, technically complete opposite of somebody that would come to the defense of Joe Rogan, but he does, also Jon Stewart. But I'm going to play that after this. But real quick, the hypocrisy here is unreal.
Yesterday admitted to taking ivermectin.
Ivermectin is something more often used to deworm horses.
CNN is saying I'm taking horse dewormer.
Rogan telling his 13 million Instagram followers that he was treated with several drugs, and he included ivermectin on the list, a drug used for livestock.
Rogan said the word ivermectin. Yes, that's the deworming medicine made to kill parasites in farm animals.
Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer?
So things are clearly bad, but they're being made even worse by people who have refused to take the vaccine and instead are swallowing horse paste.
Wait a second. He said that he got better because he ate cattle dewormer.
They must know that that's a lie.
You have individuals like Joe Rogan, for example, who don't want to take an experimental vaccine but will take horse dewormer.
Well. If it isn't old horseworm Rogan.
Ivermectin is often used to deworm livestock.
Ivermectin, apparently given to deworm animals.
It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a lie that they're conscious of. It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Joe Rogan, he came down with COVID. He says he's been taking the livestock dewormer ivermectin.
They lied and said I was taking horse dewormer.
Ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer.
They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor.
You know what doctors say? Doctors say you could take it for humans. Yeah, but not for coronavirus.
He may not have gotten it from the feed supply store, but it's the same compound.
When you have a horse deworming medication that's discouraged by the government, that actually causes some people in this crazed environment we're in to actually want to try it. That's the upside down world we're in with figures like Joe Rogan.
Bro, do I have to sue CNN?
He also acknowledged taking a controversial treatment designed for animals.
Does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer?
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You know, and that's so telling there at the end, the fact that he is a spokesperson, one of the leading doctors for CNN, and admittedly, so the point I want to take from that is ivermectin, right? I don't know if it makes COVID better. I don't know. I will never know. No one will ever know, probably. But Japan and a bunch of other countries, especially in Africa and Caribbeans and South America, they've been using it this entire time, and they beat COVID. But that's fine. That's fine. Here's the problem I have with media, with our mainstream media. The way they're picturing ivermectin, they're saying that it's only used in livestock, that it's only used for veterinary medicine and everything else. Okay, ivermectin was created back, I believe, in the 90s. I'm not sure on the exact time frame. It's called a miracle drug. It actually was invented and made for in Central Africa because all the people, they were drinking out of the rivers and they were having, was causing, because all the bacteria and everything in the water, it was causing blindness and everybody was going blind. So that's actually why the drug was made, was for humans. So it cured blindness in Africa and helped so many people, and it won a Nobel Peace Prize award. It has been an amazing drug and has helped so many people for the last 30 years. And the fact that our media takes that drug and tries to spin it as livestock or veterinarian, which it is used in that field, but guess what? So is ibuprofen, so is aspirin, so is dextroamphetamine. These drugs, half the drugs that we take are also used in animals and in livestock and everything else. So that's what pisses me off so much about that is that's why I don't trust our media anymore, is that they are allowed to sit on live television in a wide audience, and what they are doing right there is misinformation. That is misinformation. Pure as day. But Joe Rogan's the asshole, right? Joe Rogan's the asshole. Okay. You see what I'm saying? The hypocrisy here is unbelievable. It's on a level that I can't even comprehend or even try to pretend to understand. I just can't. It's just crazy. It really is crazy. And once again, I don't know if ivermectin helps. I don't know. Just here's what's funny is if you look at any of these videos, you'll see comments from people like from Japan, Madagascar, Nigeria, not Cuba, oh God, I can't, Puerto Rico. There's several different countries of people that have been taking ivermectin to fight COVID. And that's why all those countries have had like no infections and no deaths. It's because of that. But the most recent study, which I believe just came out of the UK, was actually confirming all this. This was like in the last like 2-3 weeks. But once again, I can't confirm any of that. I don't know what's the truth, and I'm not going to pretend to know what's the truth. But I will say, you can't say ivermectin is only used in a certain way when it's completely not. And that just pisses me off. So that's one example. The next thing I want to play is Bill Maher, who hosts a show on HBO. It's called Real Time with Bill Maher. So this is another person that I watch religiously. That's actually kind of funny. But I watch Bill Maher. I've watched him since actually when I was back in the Army. 2011, I think, is when I first started watching him. We don't agree on everything, but that's kind of half the point why I watch him, is because I can learn and develop and build as a person and see the other side and everything else. So this is an indirect, I believe, an indirect defense of Joe Rogan. So.
And finally, new rules. Someone needs to explain to me, why is bombing the only thing America can do with precision?
It's a good question.
We can send a laser-guided missile down an ISIS tunnel from a drone at 25,000 feet. We can put one through a window without even rustling the curtains. When it comes to killing machines, we're an atomic clock. For everything else, we're a sundial in the fog. After 9/11, we...
Yeah, I know. I'm talking a lot and kind of ignoring my chat, and I apologize. Chaos, Goofy, Goofy. Yes. Have a good night. Have fun. Keep doing well in school. God damn it. And Chaos, in the way the world thinks and acts now, they just believe in it. Yeah, it's crazy. It literally does make you want to facepalm. Keywords used commonly used is and not always used for that purpose. Yeah, you're right. Goofy, have a good night, and thank you for checking in. I appreciate the comment on YouTube and a like and everything. Thank you so much. You've been an amazing supporter over the last 2 years. Back to Bill Maher.
We could have done what Israel would have done, hunted down the people actually involved and reinforced the cockpit.
The reason I'm playing this is because I'm trying to beat down this whole thing about Joe Rogan and misinformation, right? Joe Rogan spreading misinformation. Okay.
Put doors on planes. Precision. Done. Who wants ice cream? But no, we spent trillions attacking the wrong country and creating a giant homeland security bureaucracy. We've now spent decades in airport lines taking off our shoes while TSA agents pat down babies and grandmas. They say if you see something, say something. I see us afraid to identify threats by likelihood and bleeding ourselves dry just like Bin Laden wanted us to. When people ask me, why are you so skeptical of what the medical establishment tells us? I say, because I've seen them react to a virus before. By 1987, CDC officials pretty much knew how HIV was spreading and who was in danger. Now, of course, there's no moral dimension to this, despite what Pat Robertson used to say. Gay sex is just as loving, natural, and salutary as the other kind, but science can be arbitrary. And instead of being precise and focusing on who should be protected, we launched a fear campaign about how AIDS was going to explode into the heterosexual community. Oprah Winfrey summed up what people were hearing when she said, research studies now project 1 in 5 heterosexuals could be dead from AIDS by 1990. But that didn't happen. And the upshot of bad information was that in the late 1980s, low-risk Americans were swamping testing facilities and diverting our attention and energy away from the truly at-risk.
I got you, Chaos. My
New
bad.
York in 2020, learned the hard way how much better precision would have been in prioritizing protecting the nursing homes. Contrary to popular lore, COVID is not Russian roulette. Of course, any virus, anything, can kill anyone at any time. But we know who COVID kills. 75% of COVID deaths are people 65 and older. 98 to 99% are unvaccinated. 78% who've died or been hospitalized were overweight. If you're obese and unvaccinated, or 85 and still crowd surfing at music festivals,
hey, I will be.
Yes, this will likely go badly for you. But at some point, that has to stop being my responsibility. Doesn't it make more sense to focus on helping the vulnerable stay safe and let the rest of us go back to living normal lives?
So I'm playing this the whole way through. It's 8 minutes. We're about halfway through. But the last, half of this is because Bill Maher likes Joe Rogan, believe it or not. He was on his show about 2 years ago. I think it was actually before the pandemic started. And this was a huge slight towards everything that's been going on. And I respect so much to Bill for doing this, especially 2 days ago in doing this. So shout out to Bill Maher.
There's always going to be another variant. We can't go on forever in permanent hair on fire, cancel Christmas, hand jobs through a hazmat suit, freak the fuck out mode. I haven't been to my office in 2 years. That ficus needs water. President Biden's handling of the pandemic started off polling pretty well, but now a majority disapprove. It's time to do what a growing list of countries have done and announce we're going back to something more like normal, beginning with recognizing that what we're doing to kids is unnecessary and horrible, and I don't even like kids. But making kids who have a COVID survivability rate of 99.98% mask up like bandits, unfortunately, the thing that's getting stolen is their education, their sanity, and their social skills. A study this week from a professor at Johns Hopkins concluded that the lockdowns we all suffered through had little impact in reducing COVID deaths. Okay, that's kind of a big one to get wrong.
Everything from here on, oh, God.
Last July, President Biden said, you're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations. Well, I already knew that was wrong then, and now we all do. The former director of the CDC, Robert Redfield, believes COVID originated in a lab, and now our intelligence agencies agree it might have. But for months on social media, it was banned to even discuss it. Look, I'm not saying the medical establishment isn't trying to figure shit out or that they're corrupt, although there is some of that. But how about just wrong? Wrong a lot. Wrong about HIV, wrong about lockdowns, wrong about kids, wrong about how you couldn't get it if you were vaccinated. Remember washing our packages? And there's never been any research showing that outdoor transmission is likely or common, yet LA County says we're still supposed to mask up for big outdoor events, like we'll be at the Super Bowl. Well,
look at that! That was a week and a half ago.
It's all theater, watching athletes mix it up on the court and then mask on the sideline, not being able to touch a menu, but watching them touch my food. Maskless at dinner while sitting but not standing. And by the way, if Applebee's really cared about our health, they would make us cover our mouths after the food arrives. I'm just asking, how much wrong do you get to be while still holding the default setting for people who represent the science? Eat eggs, then don't, then do. Take aspirin, then don't, then do. The food pyramid. Really? Bread and milk every day? Okay, you do you.
Thank you, Chaos.
15 years ago, they were recommending trans fats. Now they're illegal. Just like almost 100 prescription drugs, which were once called safe and effective and then yanked off the market because they were not. It reminds me of how the Republicans are constantly doing traitorous things like trying to steal elections and inviting the Russians into the Oval Office, and somehow are still known as the party of patriotism. We've had this problem in medicine for a long time. The same people who in private care always say, get a second opinion. Want to allow only one in the public debate. But plainly, the medical industrial complex has not earned the right to claim monopoly status on information about this virus or medicine in general. Yes, free speech has allowed people to hear misinformation sometimes, and a lot of it was yours.
Thank you. I love you, Chaos. Thank you for always having my back on that. Thank you. Real quick to answer Chaos's question. So this is Real Time with Bill Maher on YouTube. This is his latest episode. It was this last Friday. It's called New Rule: Apply Precision to the Pandemic. Yeah. So yeah, and I don't agree. I disagree with Bill Maher probably on like 30% of issues and everything else, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I still respect him and I still listen to him, and I still, you know what I mean? We still have that. Everybody should be like that. You shouldn't just be like in an echo chamber listening to the same shit and, you know, just making whatever you feel or whatever your opinion is and justifying that. That's not a good way to live. It's not healthy. You have to listen to the other side. You have to have debate. You have to listen to new ideas or counter ideas or counter thoughts to whatever it is that you believe in, because that helps you grow as a person. And not only does it help people just grow individually, but it helps a community and or culture grow and evolve and become something better and new. So we need that. Real quick, at the end of this, that's a great point that he made, is how can these people that are chastising Joe Rogan about misinformation and everything else, just because he had doctors on his show in the last couple of weeks that are against the narrative that's been going on, you can't say that he is spreading misinformation. You just can't. I mean, he was having a conversation with them. It was against what everybody has heard. How do we know it's misinformation? It's a different opinion. Yes, it's a different view on what's going on. But the people that are claiming that it's misinformation have been wrong about so much shit for so long. So is CNN, should they be canceled because of misinformation? Should Fauci be canceled because of misinformation, or resign or be fired? Should the U.S. government be destroyed because of misinformation? I mean, think about just in the last 20 years. All right, think about in the last 20 years, misinformation. WMDs in Iraq, none. Okay, misinformation. As he said, the AIDS thing back in the 80s, misinformation. I mean, Oprah was a part of that. We cancel Oprah? there are just so many things. I mean, Purdue, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the country, is responsible for the opioid epidemic. You can't get ivermectin, right? In our country, you can't get ivermectin, right? Because that's going to kill you, even though it's used in humans and has helped people and it's won a Nobel Peace Prize award. Can't get that drug. But you know what you can get? Oxycontin, any of those, any of those opioid drugs you can get. They'll hand them out like candy. That's fine, even though it's killing more people than COVID is killing. That's fine. But God forbid that any of these early treatments and all these other misinformation drugs and all this other crap that you're saying about COVID, that's wrong. This is why I've lost it with all of this. This is such insanity that it scares the fuck out of me. It really does. It scares the shit out of me. Because how did we let this happen? How did this come about? And I feel so indifferent about this because it breaks my heart. It really does. I never thought in a million years that the country that I have fought for, that I volunteered to fight for. I'm not saying that as like a accolade. I'm saying that I love my country. I love my country as much as anybody else could. Okay? That's why this breaks my heart so much, is I just can't believe that they're attacking Joe Rogan. If you've actually sat down and listened to Joe Rogan, you cannot say that he is what everybody is trying to make him out to be. It's insane. It's not fair. It's really not fair. It scares me because the only reason that this is probably happening is because of how powerful he has gotten. And the fact that there are forces in our country and in our media, I'm really about to throw this camera out the fucking window. I need to quit hitting the desk. The fact that we have a country, that we are a part of this country, that wants to destroy people so quickly or cancel them or silence them just blows my mind. If we think we're as a country or a society that is going to have a successful future or evolve into the future, we're not going to like this. This is not helpful at all. I don't agree. All right, case in point. Yeah, I know, Chaos. I really do. And honestly, it's my fault because I dropped the camera, so it's technically on me. Case in point to what I'm saying. So let me preach, or let me walk the walk of what I'm talking about. Whoopi Goldberg was just suspended for 2 weeks for her comments about what she said about the Holocaust and it not being about racism and everything else. I completely disagree with what she was saying. I honestly was kind of blown away by what she said. And then the apology and the non-apology and everything else, it sucks. But I really don't agree with Whoopi on a lot of things. I don't care for The View. I don't care for the whole thing. But I have to be honest. The fact that they suspended her for 2 weeks and the thing that they put out was they wanted Whoopi Goldberg to go home and reflect on what she said and what she did. What? What? She's a grown-ass woman and a personality, and I don't think that's the right answer. And it's not even, I'm not just saying that about Joe Rogan, I'm saying that about for anybody. The Young Turks, who I despise wholeheartedly. I would never want them canceled or taken off or whatever they say. Might piss me off or I might disagree with them, but we should not be doing this. We should not be suspending, canceling, or doing any of these things. I mean, it's pure insanity. Neil Young, the fact that you said you want to take your music off Spotify and move to Amazon and everything else, dude, you said some of the worst shit during the AIDS epidemic, and you really can sit on your fucking soapbox and actually try to talk like that you stand for something now? Like, it just blows my mind. It really does. It blows my mind. Also, listen to Neil Young. I don't want him taken off Spotify. I don't want him taken off Amazon. I do like a lot of Neil Young songs, but Jesus Christ, man, you know. But he's allowed to his opinions. Whoopi Goldberg is allowed to her opinions. Joe Rogan is allowed to his opinions. I'm allowed to my opinions. People that hate people that are in the military, they're allowed to those opinions. We have to stop this canceling or destroying lives because we disagree with it. And to be honest, I feel like I'm wasting my breath talking about this. I really do, because I made the mistake of putting Joe Rogan on Twitter like this and reading some of the comments and what they're saying about the CEO of Spotify and everything. Honestly, I get it that Twitter does not speak. I understand that Twitter does not speak for the majority of not just our country, but for the world. But still, it scares the ever-living shit out of me that there are some people out there that think Joe Rogan is a Nazi, a spokesperson for the alt-right. It scares the shit out of me. It really does. And I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what to say to fix it. I don't know what to say to heal all of this. When did we become so divided? When did we become so much about hating each other or putting each other down? What happened to uplifting each other or being part of a community? No matter what your race is, no matter what your culture is, no matter what your religion is, no matter what you believe in, it doesn't matter. We're all here on this planet trying to live the best that we can, trying to chase the goals or the dreams that we have. That's what it's about. And being a good person. Are there bad people in this world? Absolutely. And that's one thing I can stand firmly on this planet and say, I have seen real evil. I have seen what people are capable of, and it's not pretty. It's not. But I do believe that there is such a brighter future and so many good people on this planet that I believe humans at their core are good. I really do. Even sorry, I know I've been ignoring my chat. Chaos, we had to get, yeah, I know. Freedom speech is a myth nowadays. I can understand it's autocracy and wrong to have a different opinion shouldn't hurt you. Exactly. People have lost common sense, and that's a good point. That's actually, I haven't touched on that. You're right. Common sense is out the goddamn window. Alonzo Turner, I'm so happy you're in here, man. Mainstream media portrays themselves as popular opinion, and you have those people that watch MSM and go along with their parrot and their points, and just because they believe it's a popular opinion. Yeah, and that's what bothers me. You don't want to sound paranoid or there's like a conspiracy theorist or whatever buzzword you want to use, right? But I have to say, what not just with Joe Rogan, but things that we have seen on both sides, right? It's everybody's always attacking or spinning something or propaganda or this or that. It's like people are hurting in this country. People are hurting around the world. There are serious issues going on, and this is what we focus on. It's crazy. It really is. It's fucking nuts. And I'm telling you, if Joe Rogan gets... I don't think they could ever bring Joe Rogan down, honestly. But the fact that they're trying to bring Joe Rogan down, because I know who he is, and I've listened to him for so long, that scares the ever-living shit out of me. That there are people in this world that want to bring people like that down. That's what scares me. It really does. I don't even... It's just unfair. It really is. And, you know, I know I've been ranting for the last hour. It breaks my heart for what's happening with Joe Rogan. And just so not to give these people a win, a slash in the win column, but Joe Rogan has released 2 videos. Both of them he's apologizing. Which, in both, he should have apologized. But you can tell Joe Rogan, he's affected by this. He really is. You can see it in the videos. And that breaks my heart for him. Because, honestly, he, to me, has had more of a positive effect on modern day issues and conversations over the last couple of years than anybody, in my personal opinion. And it breaks my heart for him that he is actually one of the good guys and he's being attacked like this. And if he can be attacked like this, what stops it from here? Seriously. I'm starting to think that all these people, have you ever seen that movie Equilibrium with Christian Bale? It came out like 20 years ago, and how they lived in the perfect world, quote unquote. I feel like that's what some people want, and that's not what we need. That's not what we should be aiming for, going for. It's just crazy. Like this, like we're living in a dystopian thing right now that doesn't make any fucking sense. It just sucks. Let's just see what the latest on Joe Rogan is here. All right, say Joe Rogan, Spotify. Hey everybody, John Man boycotting this vermin's advertisers and report to law enforcement for forwarding violence and intentionally spreading dangerous COVID-19 information that's costing the health and lives of people who listen to this animal's garbage. Yeah, the fact that Spotify deleted 100 episodes, I mean that's literally where we're at. Wait, by the way, I looked at some of the list of the people that they deleted, which is like Tom Segura, who's a comedian and a best friend of Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even make any sense what they're deleting. Sad thing is, chaos. Sad thing, people are just joining in for shits and giggles, like it doesn't even affect them, and they want their fits. Yeah, it's true. That's a good point. That's a really, really good point. Who is this? Oh, Kavanaugh. Huh.
Here. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, so they took off Michael Malice's too. So, Malice is like one of the biggest trolls on Twitter. Like, literally, he's a very intelligent person, and he just shits on everybody on Twitter. He's been on Joe Rogan a couple of times. I think he's hilarious. I think he's kind of an asshole at the same time, but, you know, to each their own. So, yeah, they deleted his shit, of course. That's cute that you think Rogan has a job at Spotify. Spotify has a job with Joe Rogan. I don't think that's true either. Here's the other part, is where they're saying Spotify needs Joe Rogan. Spotify will be okay if they lost Joe Rogan, quote unquote. It's gonna probably be a couple of years of shittiness, but that's the other thing, is everybody's trying to make it like this is about, you know, if Spotify, this, that, and the other thing. No. None of this should be happening in the first place. Spotify won't be silencing Joe Rogan and controversy CEO. Well, that's not necessarily true, is it? Because you deleted 113 podcasts. God. Rogan should do something other than hide behind a mic. Who the fuck are the people trying to cancel Joe Rogan? You're barking up the wrong tree. I only listen to Spotify because of Joe Rogan. I stand with Joe Rogan. In that video compilation, Joe Rogan PUC. All right. So once again, like I said, about the N-word and then the Planet of the Apes thing, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have said that. But here's the thing. Half of those things that you listen to in that compilation video, I encourage anyone to please look up the actual people that he was talking to. And once you see the people he was talking to and the discussion that they were having, there was some context there. That doesn't excuse it. I would never personally, I don't condone that at all. But once again, it's so unfair for the way that they try to angle that. It's such bullshit. And especially because the Young Turks, once again, anybody that ever watches in the future when I cut this down for YouTube, if you're mad at Joe Rogan for doing that and you are on that side, if you're a liberal or you like the Young Turks, okay, you're a hypocrite because Young Turks have done that for years. Okay, you can literally YouTube it or Google it. So it's the same shit. So should we cancel the Young Turks? I don't think we should because they have a right to say what they want to say. They have a right to do what they want to do. You fucking assholes. I just can't believe Joe Rogan, one of the nicest guys on the planet, is getting shitted on like this. It just blows my mind. I know I'm ranting now, guys. Turner, I got you. Here, I'll DM you. Hold on. I got you, man. Yeah, I know. I need to go to bed too, and I know I'm just ranting now at this point. This fucking shit just bothers me, and I don't usually want to do political stuff on my streams, but I just can't help it now at this point. But yeah, hold on, Turner. I got you. I should be able to... Oh, wait, you're on YouTube. Okay. No. Hold on. Turner, you got IG? Or Instagram? Where the fuck is my phone? Yeah, I got you on IG. Hold on. Wait, no. Hold on. Maybe I don't. Yes, I do. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna message you now. I'll send you my phone number. But yes, let's. I guess the last thing I want to say or want to talk about, everybody's saying that Joe Rogan's racist and everything else, which couldn't be farther from the fucking truth. It just, there's no way that I'm wrong on this, and I know that's not a fair statement to say. There is just so much shit. All right, gotcha, Turner. Yeah, I'll save you. Awesome. This is what scares me, is if a person like Joe Rogan can be attacked like this and spun in the mainstream media to be a fucking evil person, how do any of the rest of us think that there's any security or truth to anything in the future? I mean, seriously. How can we subscribe to that or believe in that from this point forward? I know I won't be able to. I mean, shit, I'm already on edge with my government and everything else just because of my service. I don't need this kind of shit. None of us do. It's not fair to the people. It's not fair to us as Americans. It's not fair to democracy. It's not fair to people that believe in freedom of speech, and everything else. It's not fair. None of this is fair. None of it. It's... I do like how Spotify is going to invest $100 million towards historically marginalized groups after criticism of Joe Rogan's podcast. Why weren't you doing that in the first place? So you're only doing that because you want to pander? I mean, come on. If anything, that... See you, loser. Joe Rogan rocks. Nice job, Rock. Yeah, what happened with that, by the way? Because The Rock was supposed to be on Joe Rogan's podcast soon. The Rock responds to Joe Rogan's use of the N-word after supporting podcast. Damn, U-turn, Joe Rogan. So, well, that's all you need to know about The Rock. God, this is embarrassing. Jesus Christ. Wow. Wow. You know, it's funny. I don't want to get into COVID debate and the vaccine debate, but I will say this. So I'm trying to think of the two. He had Dr. Malone and Menace to Public Health. Doctor's Man, Spotify puts an end to COVID lies on Joe Rogan Experience. So, are they really not going to say the names of the people that he had on? So yeah, Dr. Robert Malone. I love this. They say, as a virologist who touts himself as one of the archetypes. Motherfucker, this shit is public record. Like, how do people get away with writing this shit? I mean, seriously. How do they get away with writing this? Oh, wait a minute. Rivera was familiar with Rogan as well as Malone. She knew that Malone had been banned from Twitter from promoting, and that he had been making the rounds in conservative media circles undermining efficacy. I can't say it. Efficacy. I feel like I want to say efficiency of the vaccine. When she watched the interview, she was horrified to see that he espoused various conspiratorial basis beliefs, from the idea that mass formation psychosis is responsible for believing in the efficacy of vaccines, to the claim, popular among anti-vaxxers, that hospitals are financially incentivized to falsely diagnose COVID-19 deaths, which that has been documented. So I don't understand why that's typed like that's not true. The episode featured Malone went viral and was shared widely in right-wing media circles as well as on Facebook, where in the link in Spotify was shared in the 25 Rivera is one of the 270 doctors, physician, science educators who signed an open letter, which that was all bullshit, but that's okay. Which obtained exclusive streaming rights to Joe Rogan Experience in a reported $100 million deal to take action against the industry on the platform, such as the containing an interview with Malone. So real quick. So like the reason I'm reading this real quick, and I mean, we can go through articles and everything else about this. I don't know if anybody has seen this. Once again, I want to make it clear that as far as COVID and everything else, I have my opinions. I think a lot of it has been bullshit, and a lot of things have been fucked up. But I think that would ring true with any pandemic or anything that's going on. I think there is a middle ground as far as espousing certain shit, but there's been a lot of misinformation from the government, from the CDC, from the FDA. I mean, there has been so much bullshit, right? Bill Maher brought up a good point. The fact that you could say that Joe Rogan spreads information. You could get banned on YouTube 6 months ago, 8 months ago. You could get banned on YouTube or banned on Twitter if you said that the COVID virus came from a Wuhan fucking lab. Okay, that is what happened. Okay? Not only is that now widely accepted and now it's being proven, but it was known from the very beginning. So the fact that you said that that was not true, and if you said that, you're going to get banned, but now it is true, well, now you're the asshole spreading misinformation. So how do we balance that out? How can the people and the gatekeepers spread misinformation, and that's okay? That's fine. And you want to shit on everybody else for, bringing out the truth, but until it is mainstream, then it's okay. How is that fair? This is not what I want to live in. This is not the country I want to live in. Do you know the last time that this happened? Well, okay, there's been a lot of times this happened, but one historical event where we started hating on, like, let's say people that aren't vaccinated, right? Like this group of people, and we shame them, and we tell them that they're horrible people, that they're unclean, that they're not allowed to be a part of society anymore, and that everybody should shit on them, right? That's literally what's been happening right now. All right, I believe it's your body, it's your choice, and I believe that about every fucking. I believe that about any other topic, abortion, all that stuff. I believe it's your body, it's your choice. I do think there's some restrictions on that, but it is you have if you're obese and you know you're at higher risk, or if you have diabetes or whatever, and you know if you get COVID, you have a very high likely chance of dying. But you say you don't want to get the vaccine. Okay, that's your choice. I disagree with it. I think you should get the vaccine. I think it would help protect yourself. But if you don't want to do it, that's fine. You should be able to make your own decision. I believe if I had kids, okay, I would not want. What the fuck? I should have my right as a parent, or if I was a parent, to make that decision to whether or not they should be vaccinated. I believe if you're a younger, healthier adult, you should, older people, if they don't want to get vaccinated, they don't want to get vaccinated, okay? If the vaccine actually stopped the spread of the virus, we would be talking about something completely different, but it doesn't. So literally all the vaccine does is reduce your risk of hospitalization and reduce your risk of death. That's it. That's all it does, which is great, which is fucking great. I'm not taking anything away from that. That's amazing. Okay. But the people that are anti-vaxxers, or the people that do not want to get vaccinated for whatever reason, that is their choice. I thought we were living in a country where we respected that. I guess we don't, because everybody is shitting on everybody, and people are making fun of people that did not want to get vaccinated, and then they end up dying, and people online are making fun of these people and like cheering that these people died. I don't agree with these people either about it, but they just died. So now we live in a country where we're cheering on or laughing about when people are dying. I don't care if it was their choice not to get the vaccine. I still didn't want them to die. I don't think it's like something to cheer on. Like, what? Think about how sick that is for a second. Think about that. You could try to kill me, right? Attempted murder, whatever. Try to kill me. I would not want a bad thing. Like, what happened to all the religious people and all the people that believe in faith and doing the right thing, or being the bigger person, or rising above evil and everything else? What happened to all of that? That has escaped this country. That has escaped our culture. That has escaped our society. The fact that people are literally making fun of people that are anti-vaxxers or did not get vaccinated, and then they die, and then y'all make fun of that and cheer that on, shame on you. Seriously, shame on you. Shame on you. The fact that you're even that kind of person that would even cheer that on is disgusting. And if you're an American and you're that way, I'm embarrassed to be an American with you, because that's disgusting. It really is. And for anyone that thinks I'm just talking shit right now, there was a recent video about this, which they went more into depth over all of this. But it's disgusting. But this is okay for this kind of shit to go on. But Joe Rogan, we got to cancel. We got to cancel Joe Rogan. Can't have this shit. This is like a couple days ago when I saw this shit. Oh, yeah. All right, so here we go. Making fun of dead anti-vaxxers is now mainstream. Here we go.
This is my final sign-off. After 22 years of serving the citizens of the state of Washington, being asked to leave because I am dirty. State 1034, this is the last time you'll hear me in a state patrol car. And Jay Inslee can kiss my ass.
So that trooper, I remember that video when it first came out. He died of COVID. I have not been able to verify any of this. Vice has apparently verified it, so we're going to have to go on that. But apparently he died of COVID. So, yeah, like, this is so fucking sick.
Allow me to introduce you to a niche comedy format that you'll probably wish you never heard of. Slideshows making fun of people who died of
Thank you, Chaos.
COVID. You can find this stuff scattered around on TikTok, on Twitter, and on Instagram. But maybe the best place to find it is the Herman Cain Award subreddit. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a message board that borrows its name from Herman Cain, the Republican politician who died of COVID after going maskless to an indoor Trump rally. Even though Herman Cain was never an outright COVID denier himself, and he died before vaccines were available, this community gives...
Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second, what he just said.
...awards in his name to everyday people who've died after making a, quote, public declaration of their anti-mask, anti-vax, or COVID hoax views. In the last 6 months, the subscriber numbers have skyrocketed, up to almost 500,000 people. A lot of the posts are made by people who have a COVID denier family friend or acquaintance on Facebook. And the posts tend to follow a format. First, a couple of screenshots of somebody posting anti-vaccination articles, or maybe a couple of Trump memes. Then, some screenshots of them posting about how they've caught COVID, but they're confident they'll beat it. Then come the frantic posts from the family who are asking for prayers. If a person is hospitalized, they're officially nominated.
Wow.
And then, the grand morbid finale, a screenshot of a GoFundMe for the funeral. At this point, the person is upgraded, and they're finally given the Herman Cain Award, and their death is immortalized in shame online. The comments are all pretty similar in that you don't really see anybody expressing empathy. What you do see is jokes. People saying, hey, that person got what's coming to them, or making fun of their political beliefs, or just calling them stupid. Now, some people might say, yo, that's just the internet. What do you expect? But I don't think it's fair to single them out. This conversation has been in the mainstream for a while, from cable news to comedy.
Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
Think about this for a second here. Jimmy Kimmel Live. This was 5 months ago, 6 months ago, or whatever. I don't care for Jimmy Kimmel. I like some of the stuff that he does. We disagree on a lot. That's fine. I don't wish any ill from him. But, Jimmy, what? So, if you didn't get vaccinated because of a personal choice and you're having a medical condition, you need help, it's okay to let that person die? That's okay? And that's funny? What the hell? How can Jimmy Kimmel on his show talk about we need to unite as Americans, like when a school shooting happens or a mass shooting happens, or when he was talking about the health bill and universal health care that needs to be passed and everything, and that we need to set our differences aside and unite as one and, see past our differences, have discussions and everything else. How can he say those things and then come out and say that? And I feel like I'm crazy that I know I'm not the only one, but I know I'm not the only one saying this, but I feel like I'm crazy when I watch this And I mean, how can... So it's okay for Jimmy Kimmel to say this kind of shit, but Joe Rogan is an asshole, right? Joe Rogan would never say some shit like that. Ever. And the crowd cheers. Oh my God.
Gobbled horse goo. Rest in peace, Wheezy.
I mean...
One columnist even argued that it's not necessarily wrong to mock anti-vaxxers who die of COVID.
Every one of these deaths is a teachable moment. And unfortunately, we haven't been learning from the lesson we should be hearing from them.
The conversation about COVID has changed, and nobody's really sure what to do about it. We've gone from feeling compassion to something a little...
Yeah, Chaos, that's a really good point. I'll touch on that in a second.
...more complicated, especially toward people who won't get vaccinated.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
Maybe you've noticed it too. Not too long ago, we aired a segment on some anti-vaxxers who got COVID, and a lot of the comments from you, the viewers, said that you don't feel bad for them. Maybe you used to care, but you've heard this same story so...
I mean, they keep talking about the Darwin theory. Like, I believe in Darwin's theory too. I mean, you have to... It's not that you have to believe in it, but it's just true. I mean, it is a fact of nature. But one thing that's amazing about us as a species, as a human species, is that our empathy and the things that, like, we could be facing complete annihilation, but somehow throughout history we have always overcome and come together and have done things together and reached goals or broke down barriers or progressed or evolved as a species. That is absolutely incredible. If you've studied history, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's amazing what we can do. So the fact that we are cheering this on is so fucking sickening. The only thing I can think about, like the last time that this was really happening, this type of coordinated or just no empathy and judging people as unclean or whatever the case might be, would be in the 1930s at the founding and the rise of the Nazi Party in Germany. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. But the people that are doing this are the ones that are saying that they're against Nazism. So it, like we're in this like weird paradox right now that makes no sense.
So much, you just burned out on it. You almost can't care anymore. Kind of like how when there's another mass shooting, a lot of people just shrug their shoulders. We've entered a phase of mass compassion fatigue. And the joke stuff might feel a little shocking, but this isn't the first time it's happened. In the late 1970s, when nearly 1,000 of Jim Jones' cult followers committed suicide by drinking poison, people were horrified. But they also started making jokes about it. And nowadays, we even use the phrase drinking the Kool-Aid as a tongue-in-cheek way to refer to somebody who isn't smart enough to realize that they're being manipulated. Now, even if you thought those people had it coming because they were foolish enough to be in a cult, you might not have wanted to say that out loud at first. We often don't want to publicly admit that we enjoy watching other people suffer. But in the same way that the internet is great for finding out that you're not the only one who likes cat videos, it's also really good at helping you find out that you're not the only one who doesn't care anymore if anti-vaxxers die, or that maybe there's other people who are also angry that they're putting the rest of us in danger. I mean, there is a more charitable way to think about these dead anti-vaxxers. Just like in Jonestown, these are victims of misinformation. Those COVID denial memes infected them first, and that made them susceptible to the virus. We could feel sorry for them. But the justice-based schadenfreude of the Herman Cain Awards, that's an emotional response. It isn't exactly generous, but that's not the point. Maybe for some people, making those cruel jokes is how they process the feelings of being completely powerless during a pandemic. When history teachers in the future talk about the early 2020s, they're gonna have a lot on their hands. They'll have to talk about Trump, the vaccines, the variant waves, ivermectin, and the fact that a lot of us were laughing at dead people.
So I disagree with like 50% of that at the ending. and I agree with 50% of what he said. And like the Jonestown thing was a weird comparison, in my opinion. When he said that the dead anti-vaxxers are dead because of misinformation, see, that rings hollow to me, because once again, half of the reason why people are distrustful of mainstream media and everything else is because they have been continually wrong about so many things. So that's some of where this comes from. Okay? It's not just, Joe Rogan or any of these other people that you want to think of. We're talking about mainstream media, CNN, Dr. Fauci, everybody else. You guys, they have been wrong about so many things. It's the same thing as misinformation. So you can't just group it so tightly like that. It's not fair. It's not genuine. But I'll rest my case. Chaos, you said that don't forget about the places that decided to turn away people unless they could show proof of vax, like stores and whatnot. This is true. Chaos, that's a very good point. In New York City, if you are 5 years old or younger, you can't get the vaccine. Actually, I think that was recently changed in the last couple of days. But you can't get a vaccine. So babies are not allowed to go into restaurants or whatever, grocery stores, because they can't get vaccinated. Think about how fucking manly insane that is. It's true. Once again, the whole thing about the vaccine mandates is it should be a choice. Everybody should be able to do what they want to with their body. Now, if the vaccine prevented spread, right, and did all of that stuff, I could see that argument. But it doesn't. It's literally a personal thing. It protects you and you alone. That's it. So if you choose not to get the vaccine, that's on you. It should just be left at that. But it's not. It just blows my mind. And the fact that Biden I think even Trump was guilty of it. The people that said that, yeah, you can, if you get the vaccine, you won't spread it or even get COVID. None of that was true. So they're all responsible for misinformation? I mean, come on. Fucking Jesus Christ. Does this not bother anybody when you see stuff like this? Why are we... I don't know. I'm obviously gonna edit this down. I only want to do like 30 minutes. I'm going on like an hour and a half now of me just ranting in front of this camera. I don't like talking about this on my stream. I really don't, because I want anybody that watches me, I want everybody to be a part of my streams and community and talking, and I want people with completely different opinions to feel like they can talk to me and we can have conversations. I want that. I don't want to do a stream like this where I'm so hardcore on something. But the takeaway I want to put for this is, if you do not know who Joe Rogan is, if you do not like Joe Rogan, whatever the case may be, if you're seeing all this stuff in the news about Joe Rogan, if you have not listened to him, if you have not watched his podcast, please, for me, watch some of his podcast and just find out why it is that somebody like me is getting so upset about this. It's not fair to Joe Rogan. I feel bad for Joe Rogan, and no one should feel bad. I mean, the dude's rich as shit, successful, has a life of everything else. The reason I feel bad for Joe Rogan is I know what he has been doing for the last 20, 30 years is he really likes people. He really likes learning. He likes new knowledge. Like, he has never had a bad bone in his body. He's never been a part of agenda. He's never tried to spread some message or anything else. He's just trying to be him. And for people to attack him like this is just unbelievable. It really is. And for, people are always going to label people as whatever just because they don't like them. That's never going to go away. And I understand that, and I accept that. And I'm not stupid, But the concerted effort that is behind this attack for the last couple of weeks, that's what scares me more than anything, is the fact that there are really people with that much money and that much power and that much influence that have been threatened by Joe Rogan, and they are trying to take him down right in front of our eyes, and people are just eating it up. And like, yeah, let's bring him down. It's unfair. It's not the country I want to live in. It's not the society I want to be a part of. It's not a community that I want to support. It's embarrassing, and frankly, it's disgusting. It really is. And it's just not okay. It's really not. And I don't like the example I'm going to make here is I don't like the Young Turks at all. I agree with a little bit of what they say and what they have said over the years, right? I don't like them at all. We have different viewpoints and everything else. But if there was a concerted effort to cancel them for the same type of shit, I would defend them. I would not want them to be canceled. They have a right to be in this country, to say what they are saying, and believe in what they believe. That's what makes our country amazing, or at least what it was made our country amazing. So if you are a part of that bandwagon, or if you are ever thinking like that, please stop. Please be more open-minded and believe in what our country was founded on, and not just even our country, just what democracy was founded on, what freedom of speech was founded on. You know, people are allowed to say what they want to say. If somebody started an opposite YouTube channel of me, shitting on me, and I don't know, say that whatever they wanted to say about me, right? They could totally just say even lies about me. I would never once call for them to be canceled or taken off a platform or anything. It's not right. I would want to have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Let's sit down. Let's talk. Let's figure this out. You know, that's what it's supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be about all this, and it just really sucks. And I feel bad for Joe Rogan. I really do. I feel bad for the community. I feel bad for our country. I feel bad for everything that's been happening over the last, God, I don't even know at this point, like the last 10 years. We're better than this. I really believe that we're better than this. And I just... well, thank you, Chaos. I appreciate that. I keep trying to... I really feel like we're better than this. I know we're better than this. And I hope we come out on the other side and hopefully start having a better future. And, you know, the worst part of this is the last 2 years has been hard on everyone. It's been hard on everyone, you know, in their own way. You know, individually, it's been hard on everybody. And the fact that we're coming out of this pandemic and we're more divisive and mean and nasty to each other, it blows my mind. I'm so done with big tech. I'm so done with these corporations. I'm so done with mainstream media. I'm so done with our government now at this point. I'm so done with all of it. I've lost faith in so much of this. It's unbelievable. And I'm talking about as a whole. Okay, I'm not taking sides here. I'm talking about as a whole. Shame on everyone. I mean, this is ridiculous. It really is. And honestly, the thing that scares me the most, if you look at the way things are going, I don't see how this doesn't get worse and how this does not cascade into something even more major. I mean, we're really applauding people that get killed or that die from COVID because they were anti-vaxxers. I mean, that's just disgusting. It really is. And it breaks my heart. You know. Duh. It just does. It just breaks my heart. I know I had other videos that I think I wanted to show. I just got wrapped up here. Chaos, thank you for hanging out with me, though, man. Shout out to Turner, Slop Robin, Jake, Goofy, thank you. I wanted to be better or articulate my message better, but I think about when Mandela or any of the peacemakers through our times, right, in history, throughout the world, in any culture. I've read about them and I've studied them and I understand what happened, but I always wondered in my head, I was like, why did everybody, why was the country so mean to them? Why were these people so mean to them? Why were they so opposing and everything else? I mean, Nazi Germany is a perfect example of that. How did that happen? How did Germany, all of a sudden turn? I would think, I was like, I'm reading it, I understand it, but I couldn't put myself in that place where I'm like, could you imagine being in that town or that city, right, in Germany, when all that was happening from 1933 to 1938? When all that was happening, I mean, literally they made them hate their neighbors, Jews were unclean and everything else. It just boggles my mind, beating up Jews in the street and everything. It just built and built and built, and to the point where it just spun out of control, and all of a sudden millions of people get fucking murdered and massacred based on nothing except for one party's point of view or one person's point of view, and then the underlying thing was fear. The power of fear is so deadly and so powerful. And then you put propaganda and everything else behind that, you can do anything. And that's where I'm starting to see things with us right now in this generation, in our lives right now. That the same thing is happening. No, it's not on that extent. I respect that and I understand that. Don't think I'm saying that. But what I am saying is that there are definitely some features that are happening now. And it's scary as shit. It really scares. It scares the shit out of me. It does. It just does. And I don't know how we fix this or how we stop this. I mean, God, you remember 5 years ago, 2017, 2018, hell, even 2019, all the what was all the drama and stuff that you saw, the woke culture, or the all this stuff that's been going on with Trump and all that. People were hating on each other for being Republican or Democrats or liberals or conservative, so on and so forth. I mean, that's literally how it started, and now it is built in. It has been morphing and evolving into where we are today. Yes, the pandemic plays a role in it, but it's just a role. That deep-seated hate is still there, and it's not slowing down, and it's getting worse. It makes me wonder what's going to happen here in the future, because I don't see anybody trying to unite anybody. I don't see anybody trying to reach across the spectrum of this all of this bullshit and trying to make something better. And the people that are trying to do that are either canceled, shitted on, or destroyed and silenced. So I don't know. Thank you, Chaos. I appreciate it. No problem, bro. You kid. Drop. I appreciate it. Thank you. The man, the myth, and legend. Right back at you. By the way, Chaos, as I always say on any of my streams, this man is on Twitch too. Please hit him up. Hit him with a follow. Hit him up and subscribe, donate, share, talk about. Chaos is one of the few people that I will always stand up for and promote, and that's for damn sure. I don't know. I know I'm going to wake up tomorrow and watch this back and be like, what the fuck was wrong with me? But I will edit it down, and I will buy a new camera. I'm lying. I am so tight on money right now, and I have so many bills. But one day I will buy a new camera. Very true, Chaos. I'll edit this down tomorrow and be like, what the fuck? I guess the final point how I want to sum all this up. I'm upset about Joe Rogan. Yes, I'm a fan of Joe Rogan, but I would never want somebody that I don't listen to, like, I don't care for Ethan Klein and H3 anymore. I think he has turned into complete trash. I don't care for him. Ugh. The person he does stuff now with Hassan Piker, I don't like him either, right? They could say that the worst things about me, or whatever the case may be, or spread lies or misinformation, whatever you want to call it, right? I would never in my life call for them to be canceled or stopped or deleted or whatever you want to say. I would never ask for that because it's not fair to them, because they live in this country. They have the same rights as I do. It's not fair. Why are people trying to cancel Joe Rogan for the same type of thing? And it's like, I don't think that I think. There's no way that my thinking or my beliefs are that different from the majority of this country or majority of people in general. I just don't believe that. And I won't believe that. And I won't accept that until, I don't know, I just completely proven wrong. I hope it's not like that. It's just not fair. Like Meghan and Harry of the royal family of the UK. I don't care. I love Harry. Well, I loved Harry because we served in Afghanistan actually at the same time. Fun fact. I never saw him or anything, but just, yeah. Meghan, who's American, I don't like her at all. But she wants to silence Joe Rogan and everything else, and that's her right to say that. And it's her right to go on Oprah and basically lie the entire time. That's fine. But I would never once say, kick Meghan off of the Oprah network. You know what I mean? Why are people trying to cancel everyone? What is going on? Stop it. It's so contradictory and so against our values as Americans. It blows my mind. Jesus Christ, grow some fucking balls. Please, for the love of God. I don't know if anybody has seen this. Oh God, what is it called? Shit. Johnson. Highlights. COVID. All right. So, Chaos, once again, I can't, and this is a fun fun moment here live on stream. Cass, I don't know what your beliefs are on COVID and vaccinations and everything that's been going on. Where I stand, COVID is real. I believe it came from China, went in a lab. I don't know, but just think about how it all works. So, I believe that our government was trying to do the right thing in the beginning. And the vaccine, I do believe it. You should get the vaccine if you're at risk, 100%. So I wouldn't consider myself an anti-vaxxer. I wouldn't consider myself a denier. I think the lockdowns were probably good maybe in the first couple of months. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of nuance here, but I'm very open to everything. But the last year and everything that's been said, and especially they say one thing and now it's another thing, or no, this is true, but now it's not true. It's really made me think. And so this just came out January 25th. Okay, so 12 days ago or 13 days ago. Apparently this thing was like 5 hours long. And then 2 or 3 of the people that were there were on Joe Rogan's podcast, and which, started that whole fucking thing. But Senator Ron Johnson, apparently he's been doing this. So I watched this. This is just the highlights. It's 38 minutes, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. But if you want to watch it, I encourage anybody that has not watched it to please watch it. It's called COVID-19, A Second Opinion on YouTube. I have to say, I was listening to it. It was like a week ago. It just popped up on my feed, and I clicked on it, and I was watching it. And I was working, and the next thing I know, I'm just getting pissed off. Just hear some of this shit, because I started like bringing up Google to like start researching. Like, is this true? It's just crazy. Here.
And ask is the viewers to share this. Tell your friends. I know this is long. This is a 5-hour long panel.
Love you, Chaos. Shout out to Chaos, everybody. Thank you.
And we didn't even scratch the surface of what we need to discuss.
So basically, Senator Ron Johnson, apparently he hosted a hearing, right? And he had a bunch of you'll see them all, and this is just the highlights of what they were talking about, and some of this shit just bugs the fuck out of me.
This shouldn't have been necessary. As our information grew, as we became better and better educated, less ignorant about the corona.
Sorry, I'm an asshole. Hold on.
Coronavirus, COVID, the COVID vaccines. This should have been made public every step along the way, but it wasn't. So again, I'm just asking the viewing public to have an open mind, respect these individuals who have paid a significant price, professionally, reputationally.
How many of you in this room?
Once again, these are the highlights. So the guy that's talking right now, he was on the Joe Rogan's podcast like 2-3 weeks ago.
Recognizing there are doctors, there are PhDs, there are attorneys, media experts, other scientists, public citizens. How many of you personally have witnessed censorship, intimidation, or professional reprisal and damage as a result of your advocacy for patients? I want this to be recorded. That is 80% of this room have experienced something negative in their life in trying to promote and help compassionately something positive for patients suffering with a potentially fatal illness. I'd like to start.
So Dr. Peter McCullough, he was on the Joe. So you had Dr. Malone. He's off to the right. He was part of the RMNA vaccine technology, 30 years ago. He was one of the people that started it. So Dr. Ron McCullough, the reason he was on Joe Rogan podcast is he was talking about early treatment, which Joe Rogan has been talking about. He's like, listen, if you take better care of yourself, if you take vitamins and everything else, it could possibly make a difference if you get COVID. So he had Dr. Peter McCullough on because he literally has been talking about this for the last 2 years and saying that, hey, if we start early treatment on people that get COVID that are at risk, we have a better chance of saving their lives. But that has been thrown out so many times from the mainstream media and pharma and everybody else. And so that's one of the reasons why you're mad at Joe Rogan, is because you had a doctor on that wants to talk about how having early treatment for COVID patients and the different things that you can do to save lives. I mean, think about how crazy that is.
Start really quick with the story. So high-risk individual approaches me, 50 years old, obese, type 1 diabetic, calls me, I have COVID. This was about a year ago. What do I do? Help. I'm going to the ER. My oxygen's 86. I have excruciating pain in my lungs. So I said, you're going to the pharmacy. Don't go to the ER. I called in some early treatment medications of the drugs which shall not be named. Said individual calls me a couple hours later and says, that excruciating 9 out of 10 lung pain, it's now 2 out of 10, 6 hours later. Well, I know the mechanisms of the medication I prescribed. A few hours later, in the next morning, he calls me, he says, that oxygen saturation of 86, it's now 98%. I said, isn't that fantastic?
Okay, what? What's the challenge? Oh, God. I did 22 push-ups today in honor of 22 push-up challenge from 22 U.S. vets who committed suicide per day due to PTSD. Now I'm passing the challenge to you. I challenge you to do 22 push-ups, any variation, right now with your camera on. After passing that challenge, pass it to your friends, family, or Twitch streamers to do 22 push-up challenge. This is a new challenge that must be done right now to prevent suicide, to raise awareness for mental health and PTSD. Well, for one, yeah. Wow, you just took me out of that, didn't you? So I suffer from a bunch of shit from my deployments. We'll leave it at that. I have lost 6 from the same. So I don't know if this is a bot or not, but if you're going to bring it in, I guess I'm going to have to stay true to that. So 22 push-ups, any variation. So right off the bat, I will do this for Trevino, Branscombe, and we'll leave it at that for right now. But, all right, so 22. Oh. All right, so that's 22. I will do 2 wide arm and then 2 close diamond. Ugh! You know, I'm really getting too old for that, I have to be honest. But, so, A is too sweet. I appreciate it. I will share it after I get off a stream. But yeah. So, I appreciate it. I will always support that because I suffer from the same. I suffer from the same, and I've lost people from the same. So. Listen, I've been out of the military now for like 10 years. Yes. Okay, hold on. Sir, I was enlisted. I was a sergeant. But anyways, that's fine. Believe it or not, today afternoon I did 50 straight push-ups in one go, 22, yes, that's 14 overall well-being, and 14 free. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. 50 straight push-ups is a good number? Yeah. It depends on the time. Like, like, is that in 2 minutes? Whatever the case might be. But yeah, that's good. You know, age, weight, and all that stuff plays a role. Gender plays a role. But 50's good. I think, like, your overall goal in, like, 2 minutes should be from, like, 80 to 90. That's where you want to be at. Depending on, once again, height, weight. So many things play a role into it. But, but yeah, no, it's good. Well, good for you. I appreciate the comment, and always support it. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And trust me, I already do. So, but yes, I will happily do it. I will pass it to a couple of people that I know. But yeah, thank you again. A is too sweet. I do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the community and supporting that awareness. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Fantastic early treatment works. That individual's my brother.
Disease is a florid pneumonia. And so the fact that the FDA would base recommendations and warnings on hospital disease, which is a totally different disease than outpatient disease, is a fraud. This website is still there today and constitutes an outright fraud.
Again, I'll point out there's so much we don't know. I would have liked to seen a much larger dose of modesty coming out of our federal health officials and the legacy media and big tech when it came to, we would be so much better off if there was robust debate and discussion.
I have to say, I'm going to call it out, and I'm known for this. I call it like I see it. I'm calling attention to the corruption. If you look at these innumerable failed policies, there's only one way to understand them. They are literally written by pharmaceutical companies. Almost every single policy serves the interest of a pharmaceutical company. However, if you look outside the United States and look around the world, there have been numerous successes. As one of the world experts on ivermectin, let me just talk about some programs which used ivermectin. My colleagues here, as Dr. Risch just pointed out, there are a number of compounds that we've identified that are effective in early treatment. Almost all of them are repurposed or generic. But let me just say a few words about ivermectin and what it's doing around the world. Not in the United States. In the United States, it's a horse dewormer, it's horse paste, and only the illiterate, ignorant, and or unvaccinated use it. That medication has been shown to literally solve the pandemic in numerous regions around the world.
And as time went on,
it's true.
They were told, in no uncertain terms, if you use these drugs, you probably will be fired. And nobody had to tell them. They're smart people. You don't have to draw a map. Why is an ophthalmologist treating? Because patients were languishing at home. And I've treated over 1,600 patients because patients were languishing at home with no treatment for inflammation, with no treatment for respiratory distress, with no treatment for blood clotting. It's absolutely absurd, and I wasn't going to let it happen. And I think, as you see in this room, all of us feel the same.
Our African American.
Let me make something clear too, as well. This is very a biased opinion from their point of views and everything, even though it's a collective. There's a bunch of doctors there. There's a bunch of survivors of the vaccine. There's a bunch of survivors of mistreatment in the hospitals and everything else. Anyways, they're all basically in the same opinion, right? So everything I was saying before, the reason I'm playing this for a couple of minutes is I don't know if half of what they're saying is true. I don't know. No one does. You know what I mean? But it's still important because, once again, all the misinformation that you're accusing Joe Rogan of, right? It's not fair to fucking put him down when all of this has been going on for so long, and then on the other side of that opinion, they've been doing the same thing. So where do you draw the line? Like, where do you...
Americans, are they denied early treatment in the community?
Well, yes, they are. My dad just died. Right? He died Friday. Couldn't get a test, couldn't get monoclonal antibodies. We treated him at home. Unfortunately, we had an oxygen machine that didn't work. So his blood saturation went down to the point where he was incoherent. We called EMS. They said, your problem is your oxygen machine doesn't work. They put oxygen on him. He went to 98% saturation. We moved him to the hospital. He recovered all his cognitive functions. He was doing quite well, but he was no longer getting medications that reduce his inflammation. He was no longer getting medications that block the histamine response. He was no longer getting the medications that he needed, and he was no longer getting lung steroids, and he just declined and declined and declined. until he passed away on Friday, and I say he passed away from lack of appropriate care.
So in the last 6 months, I've really evolved into a early treatment advocate. I've used.
Once again, one thing I did know, I've watched this whole thing, but one thing I did notice about this is they're all basically talking about how early treatment would have made the biggest difference out of this whole thing.
It's a combination of medications, and up until recently, I was using monoclonal antibodies, and sadly, we can't get those anymore.
Why is that? Why, as soon as... Think about that, because there's no shortage in the United States.
But you know, I just hear so many stories. At first, it was, you know, my PCP won't see me, so they came to see me, an ENT. I became the PCP. Now it's people are terrified to go to the hospital, so I've become the emergency room. I'm giving high-dose IV steroids. I'm giving, you know, 25 grams of IV vitamin C, but I am keeping people out of the hospital, and I've kept over 2,000 people out of the hospital. And if you look at current statistics, 20 of those people should be dead, and they're not. So, and the turning point for me when I really...
Once again, if you're just joining me, this is the highlight video of a sit down by Senator Ron Johnson. This is just the highlights. It's called COVID-19, A Second Opinion. It's out here on YouTube by Senator Ron Johnson. The whole sit down that all these people did was like 6 hours long. So I'm just playing the highlight.
Got angry was a patient that his wife reached out to me. He's trapped in the ICU, a father of 6, sheriff's deputy, refused to give anything. But you know, these hospitals give them low dose steroids. They give them 6 milligrams of.
Yeah, Chaos. You're probably, no pun intended. Get it? What the chaos? That's what scares the shit out of me, and that's why I'm so upset about the Joe Rogan thing. I consider myself a pretty level-headed person. Pretty, like, I'm intelligent. You know, not to suck my own dick or whatever, but I'm saying that, you know, we're all, if you have a good head on your shoulders, when you really start to like look at the bigger picture of everything that's been going on, no matter what you believe in or what you don't believe in, I don't care about that. I'm talking about just the generalization of what makes a good people and bad people, right? It does seem that way. It's crazy. Like, there is so much shit that has been happening over the last 2 years that makes no sense, and it just continues, and then
Dexamethasone, you know, 3 times a day. A lot of these hospitals won't even give breathing treatments. It's ridiculous. They won't give them the vitamins. I mean, and so basically she called me in desperation, and I testified. She sued the hospital to try to get her husband the medications he needed. I testified, we won. The hospital refused to grant me privileges, even though I have a spotless record. And I was furious because that's when it all changed for me, and I became thrust into the public because of Methodist Hospital. But it's just, you know, I've seen a lot, and I'm angry, and I'm exhausted. I mean, I have one hospital I can send patients to that I feel safe to.
Some of those heart-wrenching...
Think about how fucking scary that is that people that actually work in the medical field have like one hospital that they feel safe sending their patients to or people that they're helping. How scary is that?
Stories I'm hearing where a loved one's in the hospital and the family's begging the hospital to do more, trying to save the person's life, and they're just being told, now your loved one, there's not much hope. You know, get ready for the worst, and they just won't do anything.
So the question is,
out of this whole thing that I watched, this gentleman made me emotional.
Why? Why have cheap, safe, and effective drugs been ignored for the treatment of COVID-19, which could have saved maybe 500,000 lives?
Think about that.
And I think Dr. Corey has told us exactly why.
I want to talk about medical ethics because I'm concerned that many of our pandemic policies have ignored foundational principles of medical ethics. We effectively abandoned patients that were suffering from other conditions and had other medical needs. The disastrous fruits of this myopia include an unprecedented 40% increase in all-cause mortality among working-age adults 18 to 64 over the last year, most of which, 2/3 to 3/4, depending on the state, was not related to COVID. Actuaries tell us that a 10% rise in all-cause mortality is a once-in-200-year disaster. This was a 40% rise.
In my opinion, we should not have politicized the public health response to SARS-CoV-2 and COVID-19. This is a bipartisan issue, and the physicians represented here are truly a bipartisan group. I'm not, although I've been characterized as a right-wing Proud Boy.
Oh my God.
I've previously supported both President Obama and President Biden's campaigns. But the course of events have forced me to rethink a lot of my positions, and I think that's the case with many of my peers. If I make
It's true, Chaos. It's true, and it's sickening.
quote, in May of 1995, Nelson Mandela said, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children."
That's
in my
true.
opinion, our public policies in managing this have had a particularly strong adverse effect on our children, and vaccine mandates for our children are completely unjustified at this point.
So my friend called me a week ago. He said, watch this new movie. It's called Don't Look Up. And
Real quick, on that point, Don't Look Up. You know why that movie did, why I believe that movie did so well on Netflix? Yeah, it's a great movie. Acting's phenomenal. Everything about that movie is phenomenal. Just stop watching MMS. That's all it comes down to. Yeah, and you're right. Prime Donut. Do not. Prime Do Nut. Excuse me. No, you're right. You're right. I'm just venting at this point. But you're right. Back to my point, what I was saying, that movie Don't Look Up on Netflix with Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what made that movie so great? Is it's so believable what you're watching, and you're like, oh shit, that's probably really how it is in our government, or how the scientific community and everybody else reacts to it. It was fucking scary, stupidly accurate.
I told him, listen, I don't need to look at this movie. I've been in this movie for the last 2 years.
We have better treatments, and we should be investing in research to continue to improve our treatments and strategies.
Well, Prime Do Not, thank you for joining the stream. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. And my streams are, this is not my normal content at all, but I just had enough with everything that's happened the last, selfishly for me, what's happened the last 2 weeks with Joe Rogan, but what's happened the last 2 years as well.
Is to make sure that we have treatments available everywhere where someone vulnerable especially gets sick. If you put these strategies together, our society can continue to function in a much more healthy way than we have functioned these past 2 years, while at the same time working to protect older people. The strategies we followed, basically by ignoring the possibility of early treatment, by not focusing our efforts on the protection of vulnerable populations, and worst of all, these restrictions on human behavior, on human connection, have wreaked enormous damage. And it's far past time that we stop those policies and instead followed an alternate plan.
So Dr. Bhattacharya was joined by colleagues from Harvard and from Oxford and put together the Great Barrington Declaration. I'm pretty sure they published that in, I think it was October 2020. We've since seen emails between Dr. Collins and Dr. Fauci, head of NIH and NIAID, basically with a concerted effort to destroy, reputationally destroy Dr. Bhattacharya and his co-authors. Now, I'll ask the listening audience.
Prime said, but to be fair, Joe Rogan probably has more of a following, and you're right. No, he does. So if you look at it from that perspective, and people trust what he says, then it can be problematic. I don't have any opinion on Joe Rogan. Not my cup of tea. You know what? I'm really happy that you joined my stream and actually just said that. So, also I say probably because he averages 109 million downloads a month. So I literally every podcast episode is around 11 million. So you look at any of like prime time on CNN, Fox News, and everything. I think it ranges anywhere from like 800,000 to like 6 million. So yeah, he pretty much doubles the average. So if you look at I really want to comment on what you said. And people trust what he says. That it can be problematic, and that is true. And you're right. That's a very good point. That with the audience that he does control and does have that power of messaging and that much influence, that's a very good point. It can be problematic. I don't have any opinion on Joe Rogan. He's not my cup of tea. And I mean, that's true for anything, right? You know, there's a lot of things that are influential and everything else. There's people that are very influential that not my cup of tea either. Very true. The reason I'm standing up for Joe Rogan, to the point that you're making, or to what you just said, that's why I'm upset about it, is when you actually watch Joe Rogan or you actually listen to his podcast and the people that he is on, he actually has a very diverse crowd of people that he has on. So that's one thing that upsets me, that that gets lost in translation. And it's, once you actually listen to him, it's so fair, and you know, he fact checks himself. The conversation that he has is unscripted, it's unedited, and it's just people having conversations. And that's why I'm defending that. Is I would defend that not only of Joe Rogan, but I would defend that of somebody that has different opinions of what my opinions are, or what I believe in, and everything else. And that's how it should be for everything. So Prime, I totally respect that. Thank you. And I agree. Yeah, yeah. And you're right. But and you are right too, Prime. When you have that much of an influence, you do have to assume that responsibility as well, because it can't be problematic. And that's a very good point. It's a very good point. I do agree with that. And I guess the thing I would say to that is, as much as I've watched Joe Rogan, if like he was actually like a racist person or spouting some like terrible message or something, yeah, I would be just as fucking concerned too. But like, dude, what are you doing? You have such a huge influence over all this stuff. Oh my God. You know, that would be terrible. And I guess that's why I'm so upset about it. It's like, man, this isn't a bad dude. We need more of this, not less of this. We need more people talking. We need more people engaged in conversation. It's, you know, in different opinions and in different debates and everything else, and education, or, you know, exposing people to something that they're not familiar with, and so they can become familiar with, or at least have a little bit of understanding to whatever it is that they're talking about. Prime said the problem is that when it comes down to listeners or viewers, why do people, when they like someone, trust everything they say? All right, let me think about that for a second. The problem comes down to listeners or viewers. Why do people, when they like someone, trust everything they say? Okay. I think there's a couple of things. I think the culture and... Give me 1 second here. Let me bring it up to me here. I think that there's a couple of points to that. One thing, we have a problem with echo chambers, and people, they believe something and they're only going to listen to or watch something that will reaffirm what they believe. And you know what I mean? Like, they don't like confrontation, they don't like different opinions, whatever the case may be. The reason for that, I don't know. I don't know what the reason is for that. But you're right that a lot of the listeners and viewers of whatever said content, that is going on for sure, 100%. I guess that just goes on to the society or the community or the culture of said country. You know, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to change that. All I do know is that somebody like Joe Rogan or anybody even in the same caliber that is completely opposite of Joe Rogan, we should not be attacking those people, because at least that they're providing a platform and or a podcast and or show that allows information between two people or whatever the conversation might be, that develops that conversation, at least has that content out there for people to listen to. How do you make it so people aren't so diehard about one thing or another? I don't know. And that's probably one of the things that breaks my heart the most is, how do you make people more open-minded or more comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations? I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Let me clarify. People have a tendency to look up to celebrities. We want to follow as they do or do their recommendation. It's a society issue. 100%. 100% agree. 100% agree. So one can only hope. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds. What happens to being meh about something? Yeah, it's true. You know, it's a good point. I don't know. That's where it breaks down to who you are as a person and what you've done in life and everything else. And, you know, if people have an experience like different cultures or different experiences in life, you know, I think that plays a role into it. Honestly, if you asked me, I think everybody in whatever country you're from should travel and experience different cultures and experience different religions. Even if you're not religious, I'm just saying you should experience those different things, because it really opens your mind up. Because if you are born in one country and you're raised in that atmosphere and you're raised in those values and those ethics and those core beliefs, and in that history, you're taught that in school, that history, you know, but that's really the history of how they want you to see it in whatever said country that you're in. It really can have a profound effect on you. And I think, you know, traveling around the world or experiencing new things or having those engagements with different people, different languages, whatever the case might be, that culturally I think is very valuable to people, as, you know, it's personal growth. It's, you know, do I watch American Horror Story? I do. I actually just started watching it a couple of years ago. Why? What? Where did that question come from? I'm curious. I'm waiting for this. I know there's a delay. I'm so sick of my camera. I saw you just messaged. Hold on. I swear to God, I have to upgrade my camera. Did you see election season? I did. That was the one where one of my favorite actors in that, he dresses up like Trump, but it's like also makes a Joker. Yes, I know which one you're talking about. I love that season. Continue. It's honestly one of my favorite seasons. Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that's half the reason why it was so good. I think that's half the reason why Don't Look Up on Netflix was so good. You know what I mean? It's sort of like the same thing, is you're able to relate to it and see how easily people are either manipulated or just fall in line, or, you know, just believe whatever the message is, whatever that message might be. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. It really is. It's crazy. Chaos. Big error in social media is social media in general, and that's a good point, Chaos. It really is, and I think that does play a pinnacle part in how much has changed in the last 20 years. Everyone wants to be popular in a way, so they will cast aside their own thoughts and beliefs for popular opinion and run with it. No fact checks, no common sense, just 15 seconds of fame. It's true. I agree. Honestly, everyone needs to watch that season and watch Don't Look Up. And if they see the irony with their own life, yeah, 100%. I 1000% agree. It's crazy. It really is. And it's crazy, but it's sad. It's unbelievably sad. You know, maybe that's half the problem, is why there's so much anger or there's so much division. I'm sure people just sit at home like I'm doing right now, and you just get so, like, not angry, but you just get so frustrated. Like, what is happening right now? Why is this happening? Why are people so so fucking, you know, it's really frustrating. It really is. I'm gonna end this video, or end this highlight. And once again, no matter what you believe about COVID and vaccines and everything else, I've said it like 100 times now on this 2 hours. I think if you are at risk and everything else, you definitely should get the vaccine. You're crazy if you have not. Seriously. And COVID is real, and I just do think that now afterwards there's a bunch of shady shit that's been going on. It's completely fucked. Prime, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for joining the conversation. I'm going to edit this down on YouTube and put it on my YouTube, and you are going to be in it as well, because I really appreciated that conversation. So you and Chaos have really been a delight tonight, so thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, so thank you. But no, this gentleman, this older doctor, so he was the only one that he was the only one that I tried to look up afterwards to see if it was true. And I found similar stories, so I couldn't really verify it, but I don't think I needed to. I just this just touched my heart. The vax works, at least for me. Yeah, there you go. No, and my aunt and uncle were huge at risk, very much older, and they got the vaccine, and they got COVID after they got the vaccine. They probably would have died if they hadn't had the vaccine. So, we'll leave it at that. I'm not here to say one thing or the other. I just know that the vaccine definitely works, especially for people at risk. That's how I feel. But this other bullshit that's been going on, and this guy broke my heart when I saw this shit.
Using our protocol to treat critically ill patients in the ICU with a whole host of...
Might help if I switch my screen. Towing the line. God damn it.
So I was using our protocol to treat critically ill patients in the ICU with a whole host of repurposed drugs. This is a memo sent to the entire healthcare system, but they targeted me personally. And what did this memo say? This said, I can use remdesivir, and then I will quote. There was an added section, do not endorse section, which includes medications that may cause harm and efficacy is not supported in peer-reviewed published RCTs. These medications will not be verified or dispensed for the prevention or treatment of COVID. This list includes ivermectin, bicalutamide, etoposide, fluvoxamine, dutasteride, and finasteride. And then just to stick it to me, they added ascorbic acid.
Otherwise known as...
The system was effectively preventing me treating my...
So that part at the end was they also said that you cannot offer vitamins to patients in the hospital.
Patients according to my best clinical judgment.
Thank you to Prime. Yes, see, I actually play Call of Duty as well. I haven't played in a long time. Fuck, man. Chaos needs to get down with that shit. Hey, kill it, man. Have some good matches. At least get one dub. All right? One dub. That's what I want. Thank you, Prime. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Thank you for joining the stream and the conversation. I appreciate it, man. Have a good night. Wishing the best for you and yours.
And then how did this progress? I objected. So the first week I was in the ICU. I didn't know what to do. What was I to do? My hands were tied. As a clinician, for the first time in my entire career, I could not be a doctor. I could not treat patients the way I had to be to treat patients. I had 7 COVID patients,
please do.
including a 31-year-old woman. I was not allowed to treat these people. I had to stand by idly. I had to stand by idly watching these people die. I then tried to soothe the system, and you know what they did? They did something called peer sham review. It is a disgusting and evil concept. They then accused me of 7 most outrageous crimes that I had committed, and that I was such a severe threat to the safety of patients, they immediately suspended my hospital privileges because I possessed and posed such an outright threat to these patients, ignoring the fact that under my care, the mortality was 50%, those of my colleagues. I then went on through the sham peer review. I went to a kangaroo court where they continued this, and the end result was I lost my hospital privilege and was reported to the National Practitioner Data Bank. So here I was standing up for patients' rights, and this hospital, this evil hospital, ended my medical career. So that's what they do. It's an outright outrage. It's evil to the core.
You can use safe, effective, off-label.
So, a lot of these stories and everything, and just in the highlight video, I tried to look that up, this story, because my heart breaks for this dude. It really does. You know what I mean? But once again, one thing that I have learned now from especially the Joe Rogan shit and everything else, you can't believe what you hear. You can't believe just what you take in term. So I tried to do some research on this. I believe I found his story, but I'm not sure because there were so many stories like this, and that scared the shit out of me. You know what I mean? So, you know, if 70, let's just say 75%, hell, fuck that. Let's say 50% of everything in this highlight video is true, right? We're fucked. And we'll just leave it at that. And it breaks my heart. It really does. So, I love it. I started this like around midnight, 2.5 hours later. I said I was going to keep this under an hour, and here we are. I've been ranting and upset and everything else. My point, I guess, overall that I wanted to make was this is unfair what's happening to Joe Rogan. He is not always correct. He has some stupid shit that he says. He has had people on that I don't care for. He has had people on that are amazing. The point is the Joe Rogan experience has provided so much amazing discussions and education, and I have learned so much from it and everything else. And to see it be shitted on like this and made it out to be something that everybody is trying to make it out to be, it's just so unbelievably unfair to not just Joe Rogan, but to all the guests that he has had on for the last 12 years. And I wasn't going to just sit here and be quiet about it. I've been quiet about everything else because I don't want my stream, I don't want my YouTube, I don't want it to be about politics and whatever and social issues and everything else. Because I'm a very kind person and I'm a very open person. I want everybody to be a part of my stream and have different ideas and everything else. So if this stream came across that I'm taking one side, I'm not. The side I'm taking is if everyone is really trying to cancel Joe Rogan, I am more scared, not just for my country in America, I'm scared for just the world in general. Because if you're trying to cancel somebody as good as Joe Rogan is, we're way more fucked than I thought. And that's just the truth. So I will stand by that. I will die on this hill, as I named the title. I will stand behind Joe Rogan, always and forever, because we need more people like Joe Rogan, not less. And that's just the truth. As I've had a couple people say, not their cup of tea and everything. Hell, my close friends, my like closest friends that I have, do not care for Joe Rogan, do not listen to Joe Rogan, and that's fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. We can all have different things that we like, and it's not about that. But if you don't think that there's a concerted effort to destroy Joe Rogan, I'm sorry. They had to be evil people. I mean, that shit scares the hell out of me. It really does. And yeah. So yeah. Man, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. And I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna edit this video down 2.5 hours. Man, I got my work cut out for me. Jesus Christ. Half the reason why I wanted to keep it so short was I had to do so much editing tomorrow. You know whose fault it is? It's Chaos's fault. You know I got nothing but love for you, Chaos. Honestly, shout out to Prime to come in here and give me and just be engaged like that. I love it. I mean, I got my boys like Chaos, Jake, and everybody else, and always support it. It's nice to have that different opinions and everything else, and actually be able to engage in that type of conversation to make my point for me, if you will. You know what, Jake? Here's the deal. All right, everybody, here's the deal. I actually don't like Jake, all right? I've just been saying that because he threatens to come over and shoot me, all right? Oh, that's right. Yeah, editing. Oh, God. Ugh. 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 I love you, Jake. Time to put it down. I hate you, Jake, so much. I love you so much, and I hate you so much. And I swear to God, I'm going to throw this camera outside. Chaos, you're right. It's time to get duct tape. Yeah, so that's Melissa Chen, who I don't agree with like the majority of what she says, but she's awesome. Yeah, and she's cute as shit. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see if there's anything latest on all of this. They deleted 113 episodes. All right. So you know what? I'm gonna be fair because I've been preaching all this shit. Let's try to see the other side here. Let's see the other side. Let's see the other argument. All right, Joe Rogan is a racist. Okay, Joe Rogan is a racist. Okay, let's click on it. Let's see what happens here. If you think Joe Rogan is credible, this bizarre clip of him yelling at a scientist. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna be fair here. All right, let's see. Joe Rogan versus ape. What? What is this? If you think Joe Rogan is credible, this bizarre clip of him yelling at a scientist will probably change your mind. He's always been like this. Okay. All right. Once again, I've pretty much watched everything in the last 5 years at least. Okay. Is once again the news for being an anti-science dimwit. Of his statements below isn't exactly his first time. Damn girl, let me get your mic. Hey, I'll give you my MySpace. Don't you worry. Long camera for stream. Nice joy. Oh shit. Yeah. I love you guys. I love my community. I swear to God. All right, so I feel like this is gonna piss me off, but it's okay. I have to be open-minded. I have to preach what I say. I have to do what I preach. There we go. This week, hundreds of medical experts signed an open letter condemning Rogan. Okay, that statement right there is a complete lie, but that's okay. We'll let that go. The stream company that owns exclusive rights to his podcast, spreading admission of his uber popular show. What the? Since the beginning of whoa. Oh, okay. Of the COVID. Okay. Rogan has insisted on inviting problematic guests on his show and spewing his own viral rhetoric long before 2020, the year he inked a deal with Spotify for more than 100 million. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Many see Rogan as a well-intentioned psychedelics enthusiast. Like, that statement right there is so... seriously, that statement right there just tells you everything you need to know. That is so phrased in a way to make him look bad. That is not true at all. Yes, he is a psychedelic enthusiast, but oh God, I don't know how to explain it. This is what I'm talking about. Like, the way people frame shit, it's just so mean and... Invest in the concept of free speech. Recognize that many of his guests hold dangerous ideas. Oh my God. A recently resurfaced clip of Rogan absolutely losing on a primatologist, however, throws water on that theory. In much the same way, scientific facts tend to squash the misguided nonsense that he and his guests often spout on the show. Okay. What? Is this real? What is this? Oh, here. Okay, for one, let me see who was this hosted on? Comedians Are Go. Okay, so this... Okay, so I just linked it from this article, right? On futurism. It's now gone... Alright, so this is where this YouTube thing is put on. I believe this is the lady that got mauled into... whatever. So this is uploaded by Comedians Are Go. Right? Joe Rogan versus ape expert caller with Bill Burr. Okay.
Some crazy shit that they haven't even discovered yet.
But, alright, real quick. So, when you...
Shit that they haven't even discovered yet.
I'm sorry. I'm being open-minded here, but Jesus Christ.
Go ahead.
Alright, so they've linked the video, but they've bookmarked it so you start listening to it at 5:38 or whatever. So they don't want you to listen to the first 5 minutes. We're just going to listen at this point. So let's just listen at this point and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm a primatologist. There's no such thing as a bondo ape.
You're a fucking idiot. Go online and look it up.
You're a what? What do you do?
It's a new discovery. You're a primatologist. Well, look it up. You're not current. Pay attention. Go online and look it up.
Yeah, this is student.
Yeah, you've learned some shit from the college. When did you graduate?
I have a PhD from
When
2000.
did you graduate? When?
From 2000.
Yeah, when was the last time you got online and researched primates? Have you ever looked at any of the new discoveries? Have you looked at any of Carl Amon's work?
Yeah, I've been...
What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? I'll tell you why you're laughing, because you don't have a point. So you're trying to... Oh, you're ridiculous. I have a PhD. Meanwhile, there's all sorts of photographs of this primate. This gigantic chimpanzee. Not only that, it's on National Geographic, stupid. NationalGeographic.com. CNN.com, stupid. No. There's bones. There's tissue samples. There's hair. There's fecal matter. There's all sorts of different things. Now, they've mapped the DNA of this animal already.
Oh, please.
What do you mean, oh, please, stupid? You haven't paid attention to it at all. These are legitimate scientists and primatologists that are in the Congo studying this thing. And you don't know. Yet you're calling up. You've done zero research on this. You haven't looked into it at all. You're telling me animals that are in the world? Are you telling me we know all the animals in this gigantic, several thousand-mile long, intense rainforest? We've mapped that out.
There's another fake chimpanzee out there.
No, it's not a fake, stupid. It's not a fake. Listen, they have skulls. Listen to me. They have skulls. They have hair. They have fecal samples. They have photographs. They have a dead one. Okay? Yeah. Bye.
They're from Fringe.
Not Fringe. CNN. Okay? National Geographic. All these different legitimate scientific resources. Go look it up. Bye.
You'd like to prove that, wouldn't you? Get your name in the National Geographic.
Silly! Listen to her. Oh, I have a PhD. I mean, why do people argue about something that haven't looked into at all? Why wouldn't she, as a primatologist, go, whoa, for real? Let me look into that. Holy shit. Well, that makes sense. I mean, how could they possibly...
So, okay, for one, this must have been like the early shit. I must have been from like 2009, probably. I'm not sure. Let's... Hold on. I know reading the comments is kind of stupid, but I'm still going to do it. So I haven't heard Joe Rogan act like that on the podcast in the last 10 years. So that was a little different. So I'm just curious to when this was. And why does it say with Bill Burr?
I mean, it's a chimp. It's a huge chimp.
Why did it take so long to discover this?
Because the Congo is insane.
Okay, that's Phil.
The
That's
Congo
Phil.
is, like, first of all, the Congo's only been around for 2,000 years.
Okay. So this is back when the podcast was just Joe having his friends on, and it was like the beginning stages and everything else. I mean, shit. Let's say I become some crazy influential person, right, from like 20 years from now, or Jake, you become some influential person 20 years from now. Chaos. Anybody that has been on my stream, right? Could you imagine somebody taking something that we're talking about today or that you did 10 years ago and you're trying to relate it to today? It's a little stupid. But at the same point, they are right. He is freaking out. I don't know the whole thing of the story. Apparently they found some Bondo ape thing. It's a pseudoscientific theory of Bondo. Okay, Joe Rogan talks about all this kind of shit all the time. This is not anything new, though. This is what blows my mind. Like, what are we even talking about right now? Okay, so I don't know. Maybe that was a bad example. If you think, like, how can you talk about somebody? Oh my god. All right. Let's do top. I can't believe I'm profounding myself to this. Oh god. I'm not. By the way, Twitch, I'm sorry if anything's popped on my screen here. I'm not trying to get myself banned here. I'm just. Okay, no, I don't care. What is this? Oh! Okay, so one thing I was saying earlier, that clip that you saw about Joe Rogan, with saying the N-word and everything else, you realize one of the greatest guests one of the greatest interviews Joe Rogan ever did, was with Daryl Davis. Daryl Davis, was known for basically talking to KKK members and just talking to them. You know, I believe he was a jazz member band, if my memory serves correct. This is the thing, though. It's like Joe Rogan has so many incredible interviews, and this is by far, I would say, top 10 for sure. It just breaks my heart because when people put up videos like that, and I can't imagine how much that interview did for so many people, whether or not they were racist, whether or not they were black, white, or ignorant, or whatever the case may be. Like, the educational value of that interview was amazing. It really was. And it honestly gave you hope into the whole thing of racism. It just sucks. The whole thing just sucks. But yeah, if if I can give one recommendation of one episode that you should watch, it would be with Daryl Davis. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Joe Rogan has apologized as much as he has, if I'm being honest. So, like these kind of comments, like I checked out Joe Rogan's podcast to try to figure out what all this Spotify fuss was about. He's brilliant. I'm not a huge fan. That's why this is why it pisses me off. It's people, if you have not watched Joe Rogan, I don't know how, if you literally watch Joe Rogan and listen to his podcast, I don't know how you could think. It makes me feel like I'm crazy. It really does. So, alright, I'm not going to play this because I already know what this is. But this is so the young, like Hassan Piker. By the way, Hassan Piker, I don't like him, but I would never want to silence him. But I don't like him. So this is a video literally of the same shit that was put out about Joe Rogan. Same shit, but this is the other side doing the same fucking thing. So that's all, you know what I mean? Like, it's just such bullshit. And I don't like you. Get out of here. And still not, damn, it feels so good waking up on a beautiful Sunday afternoon and still not being a fan of Joe Rogan. What is this? What? You know, because everybody wakes up like that, right? Everybody wakes up like that. I'm sorry. Have her music added to Spotify unless you... That's funny. Entire sentence started by comedian who gets high and talks about MMA and aliens. That's a good point. Chaos, I have two bots. Actually, Jake, if you're still in here, could you tell me how to tell my bot to fucking start banning these people? Actually, that's YouTube. That's weird. Oh, that's why my bot's not banning them, because it's on YouTube. So I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch right now, Chaos. And yeah, that's where that's coming from. That's fucking weird. Fuck you, YouTube. What's funny is, though, like, what does that even mean? Sister 1900 dot... I'm probably going to get a virus when I Google this, but whatever. So that's, okay. Yeah, so it's nothing. Yeah, bots online. Yeah, it's some fucking bot shit. Because I noticed that one, and then... So I have my Wise bot up, and I have... But they're only for Twitch. They only... what the fuck is the word I'm trying to find? Nightbot, there we go. Yeah, so I have my Nightbot and Wisebot up, but they don't, I don't think they moderate YouTube. I think it's only Twitch. So I'm gonna have to make a note of that, because that is annoying. It's weird because I am the person, it's read only. So that's the only thing that's about Streamlabs OBS is you can't fucking do anything on Streamlabs for YouTube. It fucking sucks. But yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's weird. It really is. All right. Is there anything else gripping that I can play here? All right. No, I'm trying to make it. That's right. I'm trying to be fair here. I'm trying to make an argument against Joe Rogan. I really want to throw my camera out. All right. I gotta play this just because everybody knows how big of a Conor McGregor fan I am. Case in point. And that's another conversation for another day. But I love this. I love this tweet. This is how Joe Rogan should have apologized. Sound on. Okay.
Just want to
This is true. This is how Joe Rogan should have apologized.
say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. Just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
That was a fun throwback. But think about it. Like Jimmy Kimmel literally said, "Oh my God." All right.
Need any more?
If Joe Rogan is racing, then so is Biden. Two can play at this game. Yeah. By the way, Biden was a fucking prick back in the day. If anybody cares.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need.
Oh, I'm sorry, Twitch. Jesus, Biden, you fucking asshole. That was an accident. I'm really sorry. Fuck. It would be Joe Biden that gets me banned off Twitch. Jesus Christ. Well, that just fucking fucked me in the ass. I'm telling you, man, lawn camera for the stream is a nice touch. God damn it. Fuck. This is why you shouldn't go on Twitter. These fucking people, man. You know what? This is actually a really good point. Everybody's tried to cancel Dave Chappelle, which I was also upset about when everybody was trying to cancel Chappelle. But this is actually a really good point. Dave Chappelle never apologized, which is right, and I don't know if you can really say I think Joe Rogan should apologize, not apologize for it, but realize, hey, you know, even though you're talking in certain terms or whatever your guests you're talking to, you still can't say that word, which I agree with. You know, it sucks. Leak, I like this. Leak Camp redacted. I'm not a fan of... Oh, Leak Camp, I know him. He's on RT, I believe, right? I'm not a big fan of some things Joe Rogan has said over the years, but it never ceases me how people get more furious over a few sentences by a comic than the endless effort by our media to manufacture consent for wars that have killed over 6 million people since 2001. That's a very good point. Very good point. Joe Rogan is apologizing for using the N-word over 20 times on his podcast. He used Planet of the Apes to compare a black neighborhood. Okay? So that is true. He did. Joe Rogan said it is the most regretful and shameful thing he's ever had to address. Thank you, Indiaria, for highlighting this. Delete Spotify. Once again, woke mob attacking Joe Rogan be like, we must remove medical misinformation, save lives. This is not a topic I want to talk about. Joe Rogan, I wasn't aware that you use this word so freely. That's not true, though. He doesn't use it. Oh, my God. Once again, the video that everybody's been sharing has been on the internet for 5 years. Everybody already knew this. What? Oh. Okay. It's pretty fucking funny. It's a very good point. I mean, Howard Stern, who does not like Joe Rogan, has said that word several times throughout the years, done blackface, done everything else. I mean, where does it end? And I like a lot of Howard. God damn it. I love Howard Stern and what he did for radio in general. And I don't want him canceled. You know what I mean? I don't agree with what he has been spouting on some of the stuff, but I agree with him on other things. You know? That's the point. All right. This is just rotting my brain now at this point. Man, Twitter is fucking terrible. I mean, I've been on Twitter forever. How many tweet? How do you look up the whatever? But I've been on Twitter forever, and oh God, it's just, you know how they always talk about like going down the Twitter hole. Everything else is fucking true. Yeah, I'm about to call it 2 Chaos. I gotta go to bed too, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know I was ranting too long, and I need to have some discipline here and know when to shut the fuck up. But thanks for hanging out, man. Have a wonderful night. Have a good night, brother. Thank you as always for supporting the stream, and you know I got you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. To everyone else, thank you so much for listening to me rant about this stupid shit. You know. Yeah. We'll end it on this. You cancel Joe Rogan. You cancel Joe Rogan. The thing that bothers me the most is that if people like this are really going to get attacked and destroyed, it really doesn't leave me with much hope for the future. It really doesn't. And if you have not listened to Joe Rogan, his podcast, and everything else, it's easy for me to tell you to please do, but it's just, it scares the hell out of me that this is where we have arrived at, you know, just with everything, especially in the last 2 years and everything that everybody has gone through and suffered through, all the issues that are going on, not just in our country but around the world. There are so many people suffering. There are so many bigger issues going on right now, and that have always been going on. There are so many bigger things that we need to figure out and fix, but this is what we focus on. Just canceling people like Joe Rogan, canceling people left and right, or silencing people, not letting people speak or talk about the thoughts or the beliefs that they have. Whether or not they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that we're supposed to be a country that supports and cheers that kind of expression, and we've lost that. It's gotten to a point now where I don't even recognize the values of our country anymore. It's completely dead. So I know so many things play a role into it. You know, you could say mainstream media, you could say social media, you could say whatever. You know, there's so many different players at hand. But it breaks my heart that this is what this has all come to. And especially after the last 2 years, I mean, shit, you could even say after the last 25 years, the fact that this is the stuff we're talking about, this is the stuff that we're concerned about, this is what matters, it's just mind-boggling to me. And I officially hate my camera. But yeah, I am Drop Ninja. Love y'all. As I always say, do something kind for someone tomorrow. Do something nice, something for someone tomorrow. Be the best that you can be. Try to progress in some positive way. If you feel like the world is against you, I promise you, as long as you work hard and stay true to yourself and stay true to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, it will happen no matter how much it might suck, no matter how many times you get knocked down. Just keep pushing forward. I promise you, it will work out in the end, or at least you'll make some sort of progress and you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. I promise. But yeah. This has been 3 hours of something that I never wanted to do on my stream, but I did it. Fuck it. I don't care. If you don't like what I said, I don't know what to tell you. But I will tell you this. You're always welcome to my stream. You're always welcome to talk to me. You're always welcome to disagree with me. You're always welcome to tell me I'm a fucking idiot. I will respect that. I will happily talk to you about it, and we'll go from there. But regardless, I love everybody, and I just want a better world for a better tomorrow. That's what I want. So have a good night. Shout out to Chaos. Shout out to Swamp Ape Jakes. Shout out to Slop Ramen. Shout out to Tinge Noodle. Shout out to Goofy. You know, I love y'all. Y'all have been hugely supportive over the years, and I don't know what I was do without you. My 2 newest follows, Fitness Chick. Thank you as always. I had to shout you out again because that was from last stream. Prime. Prime, do not. You know, you came in. You added a question for me, and that was a beautiful debate, or not debate, but a beautiful conversation inspired from that and with the follow. So thank you so much. I look forward to more of that in the future. Hopefully you're getting a dub and CO and COD right now. But yeah, thank you all so much. Like I said, I am Drop Ninja. Have a wonderful night / morning, and I'll see you guys here again soon.